music going. Let's see if this thing goes live. It should be live. There we go. There we go. Should be live. All right. Sup, ladies and gentlemen. Akalon here. Welcome back to each of one of you to fucking Twitch, bro. This is where the degenerates hang out. I hope you guys are fucking ready. I hope you're ready. This is the degenerate central is what we do here. Let me just get Apocalypse ready. Thanks for all the follows. Really appreciate that, guys. Need to phone Apocalypse quickly. All right, phoning him now. Go. Nasrak, how you doing? Thank you so much to all the fucking follows here. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I enjoyed the show. You got a little bit salty at some points, but that's what we all know and love from you at this point.
Truth, I got very fucking salty at some points. Like, I got well salty. I'm just trying to sort out the Shill show here. Oh, that. Yeah. Fuck, that was easy. Okay, never mind. I don't have to sort out shit. It was just instantly ready.
It. Easy.
Wow! All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand something. The Aftermath, this show right here, Date Rick, you degenerate fuck. Thank you so much for 7 months in a row, bro. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I want to make this very clear for everyone that is here for the very first time. Can I see who's here for the very first time? You've only just discovered that Twitch is a thing, that I even stream on Twitch. You've never been on Twitch, or you've never been here on Twitch. Andy, go fuck yourself.
I was about to say, just wait for the cunts coming out. First time here.
Literally all of my longest fucking viewers are going, yeah, I'm here for the first time. What's up? Like fucking mods and Lassie and shit. Pikarku. All right. I do see a couple of new names in here. So for those of you that do not know, the Aftermath is the new show that we have planned for Sundays. So every Sunday night Shill show is going to be as this one was today. Have topics planned. Go through all the topics, go through all the super chats, and then jump straight over to Twitch for the Aftermath. In the Aftermath, we discussed some of the topics that we went over in the Shill show, but it's more old school Twitch, right? It's what we do on Twitch. Now, Twitch is degenerate as fuck.
True. Very true.
Need to... Okay. Seems people have already started the Skamas train. So I want to thank all of you for giving me your money. I really appreciate that. Of course, if you want to give me more money, I'm not going to suck your dick, but I will appreciate it still. Twitch is all about...
Suck my dick. I thought that was in the contract.
No. I've revoked the whole OnlyFans thing. Not yet. But no, Twitch is more degenerate. It's more fun. It's more laid back. We can talk about just literally anything. And that is what Twitch is all about. It's not about lore. It can be about lore, but it's not about lore. Twitch is about anything and everything. It makes it more fun because it allows, at least for me, Crazy Man, you motherfucker, you, Doc Assist, Dangerous, Cocky Cup, bro. Thank you so much to all of you for subbing. Really appreciate it. And thank you so much for growing the Degenerate Club. I couldn't do it without you. Generally couldn't do it without you. Apocalypse, I just need to pee. That's the one thing I have to do. So just keep people entertained or some shit. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes. 2 minutes. Best. Just need to pee.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are new to Twitch and have fairly biased opinions based on the larger Twitch streamers, you will find a brand new experience here. This is not the same thing. It's not going to be massive emote spams. It's not going to be unreadable. This is a place of an absolute degen community. So feel free to say hello. Feel free to make friends. It happens a lot more than you think here. But Twitch is much better than YouTube because we can actually talk about shit here without being censored. So big bonus there. But also, while you're taking a minute, you should hit up the sponsors of the channels as well. If you hit !Artesian in chat, you will get a link for money off getting your build on your new computer, which they'll build on stream in front of you so you can see exactly what goes into it. The book behind me is the Necronomicon. It's the best book in the world. If you've never read this book, go get this book, read this book. It's fucking amazing. And it will change your life. It would probably scar you for life, but it will change your life.
Sup? Welcome back. Oh, fucking hell.
Easy clap, bro.
Feels so weird streaming on a fucking Sunday, bro. Anonymous, thank you for gifting us up, dude. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much to everyone. Level 3 Skamas train. You guys are falling for it. You're falling for it hard.
Choo-choo, motherfucker.
Yep, appreciate that. All right, so let's just quickly. I mean, let's get the Shill show out of the way. What was one topic that you sort of really thought stood out to you? And by the way, chat, this is where you guys can all get involved.
So for me, for the Shill show, a lot of it was mainly focused around the Twitter blow up about the changes, right? And it's just enough. We've had enough. Stop changing shit that doesn't need to be changed. I was having this discussion with somebody else the other day, and it's the whole conversation about why are they making these changes? Because it's not for the people in the game that don't care. It's not for the people not playing the game because they're never going to play the game.
Yeah.
And it's not for the developers because they're not playing the game either. So why are they changing?
I mean,
it makes no sense.
So I agree with you that the developers aren't playing the game. 100% agree. Right? I don't think that's even in dispute at this point. And like I said, again, it feels as if the developers are pushing changes that we as players never asked for. No one knows why these players are happening, why these changes. Even people who aren't necessarily upset. I'll ask chat, because fuck it, that's what Twitch is all about. Myself and chat disagreeing on things. Okay, so chat. Even if there are some of you that don't mind the changes one bit, right? So you looked at the changes, you went, I don't care. Doesn't bother me. Can any of you truly tell me that you understand why? Like, did it bother you in the first place? So the fact that these things were in the game bothered you so much that you're now happy that these changes have happened.
It didn't bother anyone until they went looking for it. They're literally looking for things to be offended about now. And it's ridiculous.
Agreed. TK Shiba, what do you mean? You've been trying so hard to find us. We've been here all along, bro. Just been hanging out. Anticipated going. I live in California and the changes reflect the shit fucking culture here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare at the moment. I mean, everyone is just on a fucking soapbox about everything.
Yep. I mean, it's sort of... I guess a lot of these problems come from Twitter, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, humans were never supposed to have this much power. We were never supposed to have our words reach thousands of people instantly, millions of people instantly, right? We weren't supposed to have that level of power. The fact that we have that power brings out the worst in people, because you have people that's constantly looking for problems, even if they're, even if those problems doesn't exist, they're looking for ways to solve the problems, which I find just incredibly annoying.
Right.
I think at the end of the day, it is what it is, and I don't know how this plays out. Do you have any insights that you think could explain this? Let me just quickly say, CCS, thank you for the prime sub, you degenerate fuck, really appreciate that. And then of course, Ascension with the, how many bits? 1,000 bits, bro. Fucking love you, bro. Thank you so much for that. And then, of course, to Ace for the 100 bits. Really appreciate that. Moldovan for the tier 1 sub 4 months in a row. Thank you. Really appreciate all of you for following, for subbing. It means the absolute world to me. Okay, you were going to say?
No, I was just going to say, I don't know where this can end. I mean, this isn't going to end anywhere good. It really fucking isn't.
No.
Like, people are just offended to be offended now, and it's... Jim Jeffries put it best, I think it was Jim Jeffries anyway, of that there used to be the village idiot, and he was just only confined to the village. But now the village idiot has access to the internet, so now they're all combining together and they're making it sound like they actually know what they're talking about, but they're still fucking village idiots.
I just love what Anticipated said here. Sorry, but I have to just... He says that me laughing at it made his life, right? It made his day like making the bathroom on time. And I laughed because we were having this thing last night. My brother, we went out to dinner. I told you guys at the start, right? Oh my God, level 5 Skamash train. I love all of you so fucking much. Thank you so much for that support. Jota, you degenerate fuck. Really appreciate that tier 1 sub, dude. Thank you. So we're out for dinner, yeah? It was my cheat day yesterday. I didn't cheat on Friday. So yesterday, I went out. I looked at their menu. They didn't have much that I wanted, at least. So I decided, fuck it. Let's go old school. I had a jalapeno popper burger. So it was jalapeno poppers with mozzarella cheese on a burger, right? It was fucking glorious. I had fries and I had onion rings with that. Beer onion rings. Like beer, whatever, coated
beer
onion
battered onion rings?
Beer battered onion rings, yeah. So I had that. I had a couple of Castle drafts. Castle Light, actually, draft. It was glorious. Absolutely fucking amazing. No. Bloss is the place. It's like an old farmhouse. But okay, so we're there. And we're just at the end of dinner. We're waiting for them to bring the check. And my brother looks at me and he goes, I need to shit. I'm like, bro, we're going home now? And he's like, no, you don't understand. I have to shit. And he refuses to take a shit in the bathroom, right? The way he walked out of that place is like that proper clinching move. You know,
where the prairie dog waddle, yeah.
You're just fucking clinching it and go, oh my God. So we get into the car, we're driving, and he wants us to go faster, but the road has these speed bumps. And so we have to slow down in front of every speed bump because he literally goes, if you're going over that fast, I'm going to shit in the car.
It's coming out, dude.
Yeah. So that's what made me think of that, because there's nothing better. And chat, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. The greatest feeling in the world is when you've been holding a shit for like fucking hours and you finally sit down and it's just like, oh my God, that's it.
Yeah. Like, I'm a nervous shitter, right? If I get nervous, I will shit. Like, I will need to shit all the time. But I don't like flying. When I first went to the States, 9-hour fucking flight where I couldn't shit on the plane. As soon as I got off, ran into the bathroom at the airport, fucking unleashed hell into that bowl. So good, dude. It was fucking pristine.
I definitely can't take a poo in public. There's no way. Can't take poos.
I didn't have a choice, dude. It was either run to that bathroom or it's coming out in the terminal.
Wait, Cookie, when you take a shit and your back cracks.
Yeah. Broken a rib wiping my ass before. That's unique.
Sorry?
I broke a rib wiping my ass before. Yeah, it happens.
How violently do you wipe your ass, bro?
It wasn't the wiping that did it. It was the turning, and it popped a rib out.
Yeah, but how far do you turn?
Bruh, you know the issues I have with my body. My skeleton is just absolutely adamant it's going to fight in the skeleton war, and it's out of the meat sack.
Docker says, thank you for the 100 bits, dude. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much to everyone that's following as well. Really mean the world to me. So, chat, is there anything that stood out to you? Something that you would like myself and Apocalypse to discuss, either from the Shill show or just in general, or we could just keep talking about poo? You know?
It's usually what happens on Twitch anyway.
Yeah. Either that or food. We could always talk about food. Nazrak, what did you ask? You can ask again. Please ask again. I think I missed
the private server thing? I don't give a shit about private servers. They've never kind of got me, and I don't think it's the same for you either, really.
Oh, Turtle, wow. Classic Plus, even though private servers are bad, yada yada. But I've only ever played for about half an hour on that. Is it called the Ascension server?
Ascension, yeah.
Yeah, I played for like 10 minutes on that. So there's like a couple of reasons why I won't play private servers. Number one, obviously bad and illegal. But then also just the fact that I'm not that in love with World of Warcraft as a game to also play private servers, you know? I like World of War, or used to love World of Warcraft as a sort of, for raiding. I was a huge raider, by the way. So that's basically all I did is raiding. And you can ask Apocalypse, me raiding is a toxic mess.
It's definitely toxic, but it was super funny. Watching you progress on Mythic Agrima, holy shit. If you think the rant on YouTube earlier was something to watch, you missed some gold with that fucking progression.
I got so angry with raiding, but I still loved it. Like, I absolutely adore raiding. Everything else in World of Warcraft really is subpar, in my opinion. So just to be clear, I'm not a collector. I don't care about mounts. I don't care about pets. I don't care about gear. These things don't really interest me one bit. The thing I care about is raiding and dungeons. That's genuinely that. So if World of Warcraft offers me that, I don't see the need for going to a private server, So yeah, it's sort of, I've never tried it. I could give it a go, Nalsarak, but I don't know where I would find the time. I'm going to be honest with you. I play less games now than I've played almost ever. It's insane. I mean, my job is to play video games. And I barely play video games.
That Final Fantasy 14 copium, dude. You're so fucking addicted. It's crazy. Like, it's good to see you're enjoying something again, but holy shit, like, you've put some time into that game.
I've played. Let me quickly tell you how many hours I've played in Final Fantasy so far. Just to be clear here, I'm addicted. Final Fantasy has my heart, my soul, even my penis belongs to this game at the moment. Especially to Manphilia, because Manphilia is the fucking waifu of waifus.
Yeah, the end came when you put Manfeel You Up over Sylvanas. Like, you were hardcore waifu Sylvanas, and then Manfeel You Up comes along, and you are that distracted boyfriend meme. Like,
I'm sorry, Manphilia is bae. She is the waifu that everyone wants as waifu. But I've put in 180 hours so far into Final Fantasy. And much of that has been in the last month of me just basically no-lifing it. And even then, I don't play as much as I want, right?
True. Because you're making videos, you're doing all sorts of things, you're going out, you're eating burgers. Like,
yeah,
there's time taken away from Final Fantasy right there.
This weekend, my father is coming through, so I'm not going to be playing fucking games this weekend either. And I only play Final Fantasy on stream. So I'll be playing Final Fantasy tomorrow, because I'll be streaming tomorrow. But I don't play Final Fantasy off stream anymore because I don't want to spoil the story. So, and
right.
If I'm not streaming, I'm definitely not playing games, because then I'm making videos, I'm researching. So I don't know where I would find the time to fucking play anything else. I fucking hate it, actually. I used to be so in love with games, and now I barely have time for games.
I gotta say, I'm with you. Like, I'm in the same spot. I used to play games all day, every day. Would sit there for like 18 hours a day, play games, go to bed, wake up, play games, go to bed, wake up, play, repeat. Like, that would be what I did. And now, games just aren't grabbing me like they used to. And I think a lot of people are struggling with that kind of issue.
Yeah. I think maybe it is just games that's that bad. Just quickly, Shadow Grove asked a question here. Do we think Blizzard will release 915 when Endwalker comes into early access?
I don't know. Is the short answer on that one.
They'll be stupid if they did. Blizzard
they definitely would be dumb to try and compete.
Yeah, Blizzard cannot compete with Final Fantasy. Not right now. There used to be a time where no matter what game launched, World of Warcraft could launch a small patch and they would hurt that game in terms of its launch. Right now, Final Fantasy will destroy World of Warcraft. If WoW said, hey, we want to launch on the same week as Endwalker, no one will be playing 915.
Right.
WoW's no longer in the driving seat. You know, they no longer control the narrative. They're no longer the MMO to beat. We had this conversation on Twitter, actually, not too long ago. I made this on Twitter where someone tweeted out that, you know, Final Fantasy was going to be, or New World was going to be the Final Fantasy killer, and the people from New World tweeted out saying, keep going, you know?
Right,
sort of jokingly saying, you know, we can kill more than just Final Fantasy, which in and of itself is a complete and utter fucking joke. New World will never kill Final Fantasy, and it will absolutely not kill WoW. Why? Because it's not the same. You know,
no.
The vast majority of people that play WoW and Final Fantasy don't care for New World. How many people in chat play New World? Have you played New World?
I haven't bothered, dude. I saw a couple of my friends try the beta, and that was it. Like, that was enough to turn me off from that game.
I'm just not, so here's the thing. Right now, I'm not playing New World because it's, again, bricking fucking graphics cards. Like, it's again ripping graphics cards a new one.
Oh, it's gone back to that, has it?
Yep.
Shit.
And apparently now it's actually doing it to 3080s as well. So,
ooh,
I don't want my 3080 anywhere near New World at the moment.
Right.
Because apparently you can't even stop it. Like, it just fucking happens and bam. Good game. But I will probably play New World. Am I going to play it religiously? No, because it's not a game that I will play religiously. I feel like it's silly to even try, you know? It can't compete. But the bigger joke for me, and this is what I told Ballilar as well, the bigger joke to me is that they say keep going. As if beating Final Fantasy isn't the top game to beat.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, the only thing you can actually make sense from that is either they don't know the current market and they don't know what's top, or they're trying to say that they are the whole genre-defining new game, and they're really fucking not.
The problem is that full PvP games, such as New World, very rarely, if ever, will be genre-defining, you know?
Right.
It can't, and not because it's bad, just because it's such a niche audience. When you look at a game like New World, it's never gonna grab everyone's attention. I played New World. I played it a lot in the betas, and I can tell you right now, wait for people to get to max level. Wait for people to get to max level in New World to realize, oh, this is the same.
Yeah, like there's nothing new. There's no new concepts. There's no new design. It's just the same stuff reskinned. Same with every other game that's trying to be in the MMO market currently.
I wonder sometimes if we're ever gonna get a truly miraculous MMO. You know?
Just wait for Camelot on chain. Sorry, I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
But I'm talking about a true... Actually, what I'm asking for... So, let's be clear. I love Final Fantasy. I think Final Fantasy is the greatest MMO I've played in a very long time, you know? But it's an amazing theme park MMO. What I'm asking for when I say I wonder if we're ever going to get a great MMO is an MMO that strikes the balance between theme park and sandbox perfectly.
Right.
Right? Because that's the goal. That is the how can I put this? That is what we would consider the golden standard for video gaming. If you could build an MMO that has a very well-designed theme park base with sandbox on top of it. There's never been one that could even come close. Take a look at World of Warcraft. Whenever they try to release sandbox zones, they usually fall flat. They're not really that sandboxy. They're still very theme park oriented. Ashes of Creation, I see people going on about Ashes of Creation. It's going to be niche as well. And they know it. Just to be clear. they are very much aware of the fact that they're not designing a game for millions upon millions upon millions of players.
No, they're designing for whales to begin with.
Yeah, well, not just whales, but they are designing for, quite literally, they are designing for the very hardcore. Because that game's going to be a job. You have mayors, you have politics, you have an entire economy that's completely player-driven. The world is player-driven. It's going to be a second job. It's going to be like Second Life. Not many people are going to play it. Because it's too much work. I don't think it's going to... That's the thing, Andy. It almost never works that way. That's my problem with games like New World. Not New World. New World is included in this, but games like Ashes of Creation. My biggest problem with games like that is the players almost never act the way that you want them to act. Like, you have, as a developer, this idea of these cool things the players are going to do. And then players do none of that shit. Like, players just go, fuck that. I don't want to do that.
Because you look at it from a very different viewpoint, right? Like, if you're looking at it as a developer, you're looking at it as a developer. Yeah. You're not looking at it as a player. No. Whereas if you're a player, you're looking at it as a player, not as a developer. And you will see two different perspectives of the same fucking thing. And you're never going to do exactly what the developer wanted you to do. You are going to break the game, and that's why you play games, to find the break.
True. Frotting Gaga, thank you for the Prime sub, dude. Really appreciate that. You degenerate fuck. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. So, I want to ask you, and this is for chat as well. What does World of Warcraft do in this world that they're in now, where Final Fantasy is basically taking over? I mean, let's be real, you know. What does WoW do? What's the next step for them? What's the first step, the initial steps that they're going to have to take in order to get this shit show back on the road, if you will?
Are we talking like pure hypothetical what we would like them to see, or what we think they will do?
Hypothetical what we would like to see. So not what we think, because what I think they'll do is not going to save the game. You know,
right?
What they need to do in order to save the game.
Apologize, and a genuine apology, not this double speak, fucking Ian written, half-assed non-apology that actually still blames the players for the mistakes that they made. A genuine apology for not listening to the player base when we are actually correct.
I see Queen Azaria say something that I've said in the past as well, so I love that other people are saying this too now. Decide their point purpose for the game.
Yeah, that would be step 2. Make a fucking plan.
So right now, and I don't think this is me, I don't think I'm being unfair to say that Blizzard feels like a game, or World of Warcraft feels like a game without direction. It feels like a game that is sort of designed with this idea of people just coming in and they're doing some things, and you know, maybe they're having fun, and things are being designed in such a way that they really fit very specific themes. You know, one of the reasons borrowed power systems is such a big problem in World of Warcraft is because every system feels like it's designed to fit a very small theme, right? And once that theme is gone, it's almost as if that system itself can't exist anymore because the theme is no longer there, right? The expansion has been finished.
Yeah.
And that, to me, stands out. So I told Apocalypse this the other day during the Lovecraft episode. When I write a script, and I've done this in the past, I've learned from my mistakes. So in the past, I would start writing a script, and then I would just basically go intro, a bunch of headers, and I would just write a bunch of fucking things, you know, and I would reach a conclusion. The conclusion would almost always be a mess. The things that I wrote would hold almost no relation to one another. It would just be sort of passages that stand on its own. Like every passage could be its own video, but together they don't really make a video. And then I actually changed it. I started writing the conclusion first. So I would write out what I think the conclusion should be, right? So where do I want this theory to go? And then knowing what I think the conclusion needs to be, I would write the topics or the headers to reach that conclusion. And it became so simple to write a script because I knew where I was going. Every single thing I was writing about, I knew where I wanted to end up with this script. The problem with World of Warcraft feels like it's basically just it's just sort of everything's being thrown at the wall, and it's sort of hoping something sticks.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like, we've had this discussion multiple times on the podcast, so for the patrons, I'm sure you will have heard this entire conversation multiple times before. But it is very much a case of they had bullet points, no end, just bullet points of points they wanted to cover, and then they had no way to get from bullet point 1 to bullet point 2, and they don't know where to end it. And it shows. It really does.
Absolutely. Like, sorry, I'm just quickly pouring some Pepsi here.
Big peepers, dude.
I just quickly want to show people something that all of you have seen, but, you know, still, let's go. Okay. Come on, you fuck.
Pro streamer, by the way.
Yep, very much. All right, just gonna do a screen share here. Now, you explain this to me, all right?
You can kill us, but you cannot kill hope. Can't I?
Burn it. Burn it!
Okay. Explain to me how you do this where the only logical outcome isn't the death of Sylvanas Windrunner.
Yeah. I mean, we know how it's going to end, and it's not going to be her death, unfortunately.
But I'm talking about in terms of when you write a story. I'm not saying what I want, right? I'm talking in the way that you write a story. You're trying to write a story where you do not kill Sylvanas. Because it's clear, they don't want to kill Sylvanas, right? But you let this character commit genocide. With Arthas, when Arthas committed genocide, when he killed all of those fucking people in Stratholme, they knew that he was eventually going to die, right? They knew that his path would eventually lead to death. They knew that they needed to go harder and harder and harder to convince players that he's actually a bad guy. Because, by the way, at the time, people loved Arthas. We played Arthas all throughout Warcraft 3, right? So we loved him.
Still do for most people.
Yeah, but, I mean, they knew that they wanted him to be a big bad. Yet with the Sylvanas storyline, they make her commit genocide, and then they basically turn around and go, oh, never mind about that. Like,
yeah,
we're changing our mind now. We don't want you to hate her anymore. And it's like, no, but you can't do, not with genocide, you can't do that. Like, that's very difficult. Like, if you had her kick a puppy, maybe we could explain that the puppy needed to be kicked, but you've made her commit genocide. That's not easy to explain. That's not easy for people to get over.
This is kind of what brought up the point I was speaking about the other day on stream to you, was that it seems that you actually have two different viewpoints and perspectives of the end points. They have an end point, they just don't agree on what that actually means, because Danusa never said it was genocide. It was Golden who said it was genocide, and she's writing the Alliance perspective.
Yeah.
Danusa's writing the Horde perspective, and they don't gel. The storylines don't match.
I mean, it's possible. The only thing I can tell from this, the only thing that I can think at this point is that she was... I know what they're going to do. I know how they're going to explain it away. But again, it's not going to work because they never thought about the ending. They just thought about whatever was cool. You know, this was a cool thing. This was a cool moment. Let's not lie. Can you tell me that you're not getting goosebumps? Of course, if you're a night elf, you're starting to look for the exits. But if you're an actual Horde player, you know, you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh my god, this is so fucking cool. You know, this is a cool moment.
Burn it. Burn it!
This is an awesome moment. Don't get me wrong. This is amazing. Everyone is looking at this and going, oh my god, that is fucking insane. But the story that they chose to tell from that moment never kept in mind what this would mean for a lot of people. Right? It never asked the question, what would half of our player base think of this?
I mean, well, I don't know. I think they did have that in mind of what will the player base think of this, and I think that's part of the reason why they did it. They needed a talking point. They needed to generate controversy to become relevant.
Yeah.
And then people were attaching that to real world politics, and then it's the biggest talking point in the world. And they did exactly what they wanted to do. They sold more copies. They didn't think of anything else.
So says as a night elf player, they were literally shaking back then. Well, we did take care of that by providing you with more than enough warmth. You know, in the process. So you shouldn't have been shaking for long, at least. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that this couldn't have worked, but then they should have doubled down on it. They should have made Sylvanas completely and utterly unapologetic. They should have made the Horde completely and utterly unapologetic.
Yeah.
The Horde should have embraced this as, this is war. Go fuck yourself. Right?
Dude, if we would have continued that march and fucked up the Exodar, fucked up Azure Mist and all the other isles up there, gone over to fuck up Ironforge, gone over to fuck up Stormwind, I'd have loved that as an expansion. That would have been a great BFA.
You want to know what that would have done? It would have immediately cemented Horde v Alliance, because every single Alliance player would have been like, fuck the Horde. They're destroying everything. They are destroying everything. And the Horde would have been like, yeah, bitch, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? You know, and that
can't stop the pain train, boys.
That to me would have been the perfect storyline from this moment. If we exclude everything Blizzard did, but from this moment, it would have been perfect, because it would have reestablished the war between the Horde and the Alliance. Because the Horde and the Alliance is supposed to be at war. They're supposed to not like each other, you know. And this would have been the perfect moment for me. If I was the writer for World of Warcraft, I would have long ago made factions more loose, so that if Horde players felt like they were not on board with what the Horde was doing, so the complete and utter bloodthirst of the Horde, they could have left and gone to the Alliance.
Yeah, I mean, I've been an advocate for the longest time of all races being able to be all classes and starting out neutral until level 10 like pandas. I think that's the perfect way. Doesn't matter if you're an orc, you can be an Alliance Hawk if you wanted to. You can be wrong, it's okay.
For me, the idea, so again, this is not about being good, bad, or good guys or bad guys, Crash the Fool. The Horde isn't supposed to be the villains. It's about war. The Horde and the Alliance have always been at war with one another. It's what we do, right? Both sides have evil traits. Both sides have good traits. That's the balance. The problem with modern day World of Warcraft is that it paints the Horde consistently as the bad guys, but almost always in such a way that it's not really bad guys, you know. Most of the Horde is nice, but we always have these war chiefs that play musical chairs, you know, with one another, and then we sort of end up with having to kill another one of us. Like, I'm just saying this, and I've said this before. Being the Horde war chief, your insurance is through the fucking roof. Oh my god! Because I mean, go to any company and say, "Yeah, I've just been appointed as the Horde War Chief," and they go, plus 5,000% on your fucking premiums here, because we know you're not making it past the 2-year mark,
right?
You know,
if Blizzard understood movies, they would make a character called Sean Bean become the War Chief for just a second and immediately get slapped down.
That would actually be perfect. Can you imagine Sean Bean being brought in as a war chief for the Horde and then just immediately get replaced?
Sits on the chair, dies immediately because the chair blows up.
Oh, that would actually be a funny way of the Horde war chiefs playing fucking musical chairs. But no, I do think that we need more. We need the Horde and the Alliance to go back to what they do best, which is fucking slaughtering each other. Tweety, first time chat here from Requiem. How you doing, brother? Jaina also escaped justice in Dalaran. She genocided Blood Elves and King Rastakhan and his people. Lothar was angry at Jaina, but Blizzard said nah. Well, I'm gonna say this, which is another thing that really fucking pisses me off, and it was actually Asmongold who said this first. Why is it that every single female character that Blizzard writes, you know, every strong female character that Blizzard writes is a fucking maniac?
And every strong male character they write turns into a little crying pussy bitch, like Sourfang, like Thrall, like Nathanos.
I mean, yeah, they turn most of the male characters into simps, and all of the female characters that's interesting becomes completely and utterly fucking mental. And it's like, that's not how it works. You know, you know you can have strong female characters that don't want to at some point decimate an entire species, right? Like, you could have that. I'm not, far be it for me to tell Blizzard how to do their jobs, but just off the top of my head, I think you could have a female character that doesn't want to destroy the entire fucking world at one point or another as soon as they get a little bit of power, you know? Like, as soon as any of the female characters in World of Warcraft get some power, it's time for genocide, you know?
I mean, we've already seen it with Illyria and Shadows Rising, right? With the whole, like, Tyrallian mind-wiping fucking train she went on. Elune is just a massive megalomaniac. Oh, I'm gonna genocide my own people for literally no reason.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing. I love good female characters. I mean, one of my favorite games is Tomb Raider. One of the reasons I love Tomb Raider so much is Lara Croft has this perfect blend of sort of tomboyish and ladylike behavior, but she's a fucking badass. Like, she's a proper badass. And it's fun to play as Lara Croft. It's fun to fucking be in that world. I have no problem with very strong female leads. In fact, I think it makes things more interesting when you have very strong male and female leads. The problem is, with games like World of Warcraft currently, it's as if they don't think female characters can be strong unless they're trying to fucking decimate an entire species, or unless they're being completely and utterly almost Monka-esque, you know, about like stupid shit. Where is the female characters that we can actually look up to and say, fuck, yes? Where are the female characters that we look forward to seeing, and we know that they're not just interested in decimating an entire fucking species? They're actually looking for something better out there. You know, they're looking to achieve something better. Why do those female characters never make it into the game? And then,
I don't know.
And this is actually the thing that pisses me off, I think, more, if you're going to make a female character completely and utterly fucking mental, especially on the Alliance side, can you make them go completely and utterly fucking mental without stopping them just short and them going, oh, oops, sorry, didn't mean it? Every single time. Like, okay, fine. You want Jaina to be completely and utterly fucking strong and mental. Okay. But then, of course, she realizes that she was making a boo-boo, and she's not going to make the boo-boo anymore. I say, Blizzard, can you make up your fucking minds? What do you want?
They literally pulled the please won't somebody think of the children kind of bullshit on Jaina. Like, if she had flooded Orgrimmar and given a reason for them to update Orgrimmar's aesthetic, which they did anyway, that'd been great. I don't think anybody would have been up in arms about the action. They would have been up in arms about, you know, their characters in the game, and it would have been great. But they did Tyrande dirty. I'm not even a Tyrande fan, but they did Tyrande fucking dirty with the Night Warrior storyline.
They fucked up the Night Warrior storyline royally. I mean, I was very excited for the Night Warrior storyline, I'm not going to lie. When I first learned about the Night Warrior, my mind was going 180 kilometers an hour, just with all the possibility that this could offer. And then it just fell flat. It was just like, what was this? Did you introduce the storyline just so that you could get 2 cool cinematics out of it? Well, I'd say 1.5 cool cinematics out of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what was your point here? This is the culmination of almost the full expansion's work, and you know, we're just gonna eventually lead her to a place where basically retcon a bunch of shit as well. You know?
Yep.
Like, it's her choice. Wait a second, you can choose? None of the other fucking Night Warriors got that choice. They all ended up dead in the Shadowlands because of the power of the Night Warrior.
Unless I'm right about Maiev anyway, but yeah, it's weird. It's almost as if they had this grand plan for Shadowlands going into 10.0, and then something changed their agenda, and then they had to go rewrite like 3/4 of the oh wait, yeah, no, that actually did happen. That tracks, that makes sense. Fucking
I mean, there's so many things that we need explanations for. Just see Zix is writing
I
from here.
think we actually have some very powerful females that are not mental. Elun, Asichera, Salatat, Venari, Heira, Avilen, but not mental, Lilian Boss, etc.
I mean, okay, so Elun, quite fucking mental.
Yeah.
Azara, she almost destroyed Azeroth. So let's hold off before we say she isn't that mental, right?
Right.
Venari slaughtered her entire people. So Helia, not mental, by the way. I mean, I don't get how you get that. Very much. So, no, I would say the only one on your list that isn't mental is Lillian Voss. Would be the only one.
I mean, she had her moment. She tried to fucking decimate an entire population of a town because she was raised into undeath.
Oh, and Xalatath. Xalatath's actually a very cool character.
She's still fucking mental.
Yeah, but in a good way, I think, here. In a better way, I suppose. The point that I'm trying to get at is I want a game where you have very strong male and female characters that drive the story forward without one of those characters becoming completely and fucking utterly unhinged and then turning around and sort of going, oops, and then finding ways to fix the story. I want Blizzard to figure out where they want to take the story and then write the story to get there. You know, not just write the story and then let's see where the fuck we end up. And then if we don't like where we end up, we'll just change the ending anyways because, you know, this is not actually where we thought we were going to end up. It's just annoying, dude. I don't want to spend the next fucking 2 hours complaining about bullshit, but as someone who loves the lore in World of Warcraft, nothing is more infuriating than the lore at the moment.
Big true. Big fucking true. What little lore there actually is. But if we're trying to step away from the negativity and what we don't like about current lore, because there's a lot of it that we don't like about current lore.
True.
How would you like to see Khadgar brought back in? What would you like to see from Khadgar's story?
Oh my fuck. I would love to see Khadgar make his way in.
And that goes for chat as well.
Yeah, chat. By the way, on Twitch, you guys are 100% part of the conversation. The Shill Show is about the lore and it's about the topics. The reason we do the Aftermath on Twitch is to get your feedback. So please don't for a second feel like, oh, I can't really talk. We should just listen. That's not how Twitch works. If you want to derail the conversation entirely and take it in a whole new different direction, that's your fucking right.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's your right on Twitch to do that. The reason I stopped that, I guess I should just say, I should explain why I changed the format for Shill Show. I've been getting a lot of complaints from people over on YouTube about the Shill Show, at least for the last 2 months. Because I've been handling the Shill Show very much like I do a normal just chatting stream on Twitch, where the whole point for me was to hang out with all of you and have fun. You know, just 2-3 hours of fun with viewers on YouTube. The problem is that so many people on YouTube don't want that. They couldn't give two fucks about us just chilling and sitting and talking crap and talking about food or sex or whatever. People want the lore. In fact, they complain when I do 2 hours of lore and then 2 hours of normal talk because they go, I'm here for the lore. Why did you waste 50% of the fucking discussion talking about other shit? And I'm like, but I had 2 hours of lore. And like, yeah, but this is not the place for your fucking bullshit. And it's like, well,
Captain Swanky said it, like nailed it right there. People on YouTube just want to be talked at. Not talked with, not involved. They just want to be talked at. And it's very much a replacement for TV.
True. It is. I think for a lot of people on YouTube, they tune into the Shill Show. They want lore. It's what they want. Which is why I decided to split it. So do 2.5-3 hours of lore on YouTube, where you get nothing but lore. And then we move over to Twitch and we come have fun over on Twitch. Anticipated, yeah, I tried to do that, right? One of the things I started the Shill Show for was to hang out with the community. But I've spent the last 2 weeks doing a lot of research, looking at other people's streams, specifically sort of Balila streams. If you look at Balila streams, they don't look at chat at all, right? They have a bunch of topics that they have planned. They only pay attention to super chats because those are people that pay money to have their chat seen, right? And that's it, right? That's it. Then they're done. The sad part is, if you don't do that, I hate it too. And believe me, it fucking kills me to know that people are chatting away and I can't really respond to their chats. The problem is, if I do respond to your chats, there's like 4 or 5 other people in chat that gets fucking annoyed because they're here just to hear all the topics. That's all they want. They just want the topics. They don't care about what chat is asking or how chat is feeling about shit. They don't give a crap, which is why we decided to move over to Twitch. Hopefully it brings a lot more people onto Twitch that maybe never used Twitch before. Maybe there's some of you that's here for the very first time and you go, oh my God, I fucking love this. This is perfect. So it sort of separates the two as well. It makes Shill Show its own thing that's nothing like Twitch, but it makes Twitch something that's nothing like YouTube. So people know that they come to Twitch for the interaction, for the discussion, for the community. And on YouTube, they get lore. And I don't feel like I'm stealing anything from anyone. because it's free to move to Twitch, you know?
Right.
I don't. If I was doing this behind a payment wall, maybe I would feel very bad doing it, you know?
True.
But it is free.
For those of you that are new to Twitch, just down below me, there's a little heart. Hit it if you haven't. That's the follow button. It's free. It's like YouTube subscription.
Absolutely. Bluebird Legend, yes, I do this for a living. I do this for a living. Samuel, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much to everyone that is following. Really fucking mean the world to me. But all right, what would we talk about something?
We're talking about Khadgar and what we would like to see of his return. And I've seen a lot of people going, "Oh, but Bellular said that he's in our." Yeah, we knew about that months before he even looked at it. So
yeah.
Funny thing, whenever you see a Bellular video, go to Akko's videos like 6 months before, and you'll get to watch a better version of the same video.
I wouldn't say all of them. There's definitely
Most
things that Bellular came up with that I was like, whoa, how the fuck did he know that?
When it comes to lore, anyway.
Yeah, but he doesn't really do all that much lore. Like, they do lore, and they do it definitely much more high budget than I do.
High budget doesn't necessarily mean better.
Than I do. Do you have a Lambo in the garage, or is it just a waste of money? Dude, I would not be able to afford a Lambo, even if I saved up for like fucking 5 years. I think you're mistaking me for Dr. Disrespect. I'm nowhere near that level. Plus, I don't think at my size I would fit into a Lambo.
I would love to see you in a Lambo, dude. You turn around the corner and just roll out of the other side, like.
Bro, I would probably, like, I would fill that fucking Lambo. They proper fill it. No, I definitely don't have a Lambo, nor would I ever have one. If I ever bought a car, it would be some secondhand piece of shit. Even if I had the money for a new one.
My wife is shaking her head at me because she thinks I'm being mean to you, but it would be fucking funny just watching you just roll down the road.
I don't think that would be funny because it would hurt. But no, I don't have a car. I don't own a car. I hate cars. I don't like driving. My brother has a car, and so if I want to go places that he doesn't want to go, I just get Uber, right? And if he wants to go somewhere and I think I need something from there, I'll be like, yeah, I'll come with. And then I just hitch a ride with him. Easy. I hate driving. It's boring as fuck. So yeah, I don't like cars in general. I don't like spending money. I think I should say that. I find the whole idea of spending money to be like against my religion.
I don't know if that tracks. I don't know if spending money can be against a religion, but yeah, very frugal. I mean, I'm much the same way. My phone is fucking burnt to a crisp. My laptop is held together by duct tape. I have the money to get a new one. I just refuse to because it still works.
I bought this phone. I walked into the shop and I was like, I need a new phone. And I went, okay, no problem. They were showing me the Galaxy S20 at the time, I think. I don't know if that's still the best one or whatever. And they said, well, it's about 24,000 Rand. And I'm like, no, do you have something cheaper? I'm like, no, but if you want to take video and pictures, this is the best phone. I'm like, okay, what is the phone that can take pictures, right? It's not the best, but it can take pictures. And they said, well, it's this one, which was like, I think $200. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. This is a good phone. I have this phone now, and I'll tell you what, I'm happier with this phone than I ever was with my S7. This battery lasts 2 days. 2 fucking whole days on a smartphone for my battery, bro. Perfect.
Bro, if I unplug my phone from the charger, it dies.
Oh no, Jesus! This thing is amazing, dude. 2 days from 100%. After 2 days, it's a 15% charge. I think it's an A51 or something like that. It's cheap as shit, but it does the job. No, I prefer not to spend money if I can help it. Anyways, we were talking about, like, you had a fucking question that I completely keep.
Khadgar.
Oh yeah, Khadgar. So I don't really have a story that I want specifically from Khadgar. But I do think that Blizzard needs to bring Karazhan more into the story through Datgar.
For sure.
You see, Karazhan is one of the most interesting places on Azeroth by a mile. And it's never really been used. It's been used for a raid in a dungeon. And it's like, bro, you have this entire fucking tower that is filled with the knowledge of the universe, and you're not using it? Why are you not using this place? Why is there not more stories in this place? So that would be the thing that I would want to see more, is more Karazhan. And then I would love to see the badass Khadgar, you know?
What, him just lose his shit at all the fucking whiny cunts across Azeroth and just, I am the Guardian now, you will obey me, fucking sit your ass down.
The problem is he used to be arrogant. You know, he used to be arrogant, and he used to be sort of like, think he's better than everyone else. And since then, he's sort of turned into this pussy. And it's like, no, I want to see the fucking arrogant Khadgar back. I want to see that guy who doesn't give a fuck. I want to see him come back into the game. Now it's just sort of like, oh, here comes Khadgar. Everyone, you know, look as if you're busy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But then again, that's sort of true for all World of Warcraft characters, you know? At this point.
I think like the best description of Khadgar would be he was the dude who went out fucking rocking, studded metal jacket in his teens, in his 20s. Like, he was a fucking baller. He was a punk. Then he got married and had kids and is just turned into a cranky old man that just disappears.
Yeah, he strikes me as that guy who would ask his wife permission to go to the bathroom, sort of thing.
Right?
You know?
And she would only allow him after he's taken the bins out.
Yeah. Something to that effect. He's no longer the guy that just steps up and, you know, does what's necessary. Fucking hardcore. I'm Khadgar. Let's fucking go. But the same can be said for almost every single World of Warcraft character. I feel like there's sort of a gap at the moment within World of Warcraft, right? It used to be that the story really was about the... So for those of you that didn't know, much of this has been retconned thanks to Chronicles. But before Chronicles release, did you guys know that we, the players, were actually never involved in the major story moments of the game? Like, we were in gameplay there, but from a lore perspective, we weren't there. Right? We didn't even feature. More often than not, it would just be like, and the armies of Azeroth, or, you know, the armies of the Horde, or the armies of the Alliance. Like, you, as a champion, you had no place in that story. So the story really was about these major characters and their struggles through the world. Then Blizzard decided, no, they want the players to play a bigger role. Of course, right after they decided that, they told the writing team, fuck the player. Right?
Yeah, basically.
The problem is, so the writing team that has to write for the player thinks fuck the player. But they also told the writing team that has to write for the big characters, fuck the big characters. So right now, it's fuck everything. We'll just sort of write a story. Because the main characters that's supposed to be the main characters don't feel like the main characters. They feel like side quest characters. But you have no main characters. Like, it's not like the player is pushing the story forward. These characters that's supposed to push the story forward. Bolvar is being bossed around by his daughter and Kalia.
Oh, fucking don't get me started on Bolvar.
Like, I'm not saying that Bolvar doesn't care about his daughter and doesn't want to, you know, take care of his daughter, but Bolvar is fucking Bolvar. And Kalia and Talia is basically bossing him around, telling him what to do. Listen, you bitch boy, you'll fucking look into the maw. No, but it'll kill me. Look into the fucking maw, you asshole. If it kills you, we don't care. Get your shit together. Look into the maw. Oh, I mean, nothing ever happened. He looked into the maw, and, you know, it was all good.
If it had been a female they were telling to look in the maw, that would have been sexist. That would have been rewritten, and she would have been absolutely fine. Not a threat at all from the jailer, because we can't have women be scared.
I don't even know. Dr. Neptune, thank you for the 2 months update. Really appreciate that. 4 months in a row. Thank you. But it's not female empowerment. Because what is Talia and Kalia Menethil doing? What is Talia doing? What is Kalia doing? It's not. If it was female empowerment, I'd love that. But they're not doing anything. They're just bossing Bolvar around. Of course, it's definitely not male empowerment because Thrall and Bane is just sitting on the fucking steps. So, they're not even being bossed around. That's how little they matter to the story. At the end of the day, it feels like... So I ask you guys the following question. What is the point of Bolvar, Talia, Kalia, Jaina, Thrall, and Bane in the current story?
I mean, it's obvious what their point is to give credence to the new story, right? It's to give you that basis of, I recognize these characters, so I'm still playing the same game, even though everything's fucking changing. It's just the anchor to the old world. That's it.
Yeah, but they're not being used in any way, shape, or form. They may as well, let me ask this. Let's imagine that all those characters weren't in the Shadowlands. Would anything have changed? Would anything feel different?
No, not at all. And that's the point, isn't it? They were literally just there so that people go, I recognize this name. This is still the same game I used to play. And it gives it that credence, gives it that clout to continue going forwards under the new names that you're now introduced to with the safety net of the old names you're used to.
True. I mean, so basically we have no main characters anymore. We have no characters that matter anymore. It doesn't feel like any of the characters are truly being spent time on. Tasty asks, could Khadgar be used by Blizz to explain the idea that it's not faction versus faction, but cosmic war in order to nuke factions? I don't think so, because Ian made it very clear that they have no interest in nuking the factions. Right? Ian made that very, very clear. They're not nuking the factions in World of Warcraft. Ian, if I remember correctly, Ian tweeted out that the factions isn't just about gameplay mechanics, because there was a question on Twitter where they basically asked him, can't we get rid of the factions because they don't matter anymore? Wada wada wada. And Ian said, the commenter basically said, so are you saying that if the lore doesn't allow it, you will not fix bad gameplay? It's basically what it boils down to. Because it had to do with the covenants, right? And how the lore didn't allow for the covenants to be swappable, but now the lore does allow for the covenant to be swappable. And Ian said, no, when, if gameplay is really that bad, we'll change the lore to make sure that the gameplay works. But, the lore is still important. And then he used this example of the factions and said, the factions is an incredibly important part of the story, but we do want to find ways that is better for dealing with faction imbalance. And my thought to that was, as Andy says, what lore?
Right.
What lore around the factions? What difference around the factions? But sort of holding to what we just spoke about like a few minutes ago. None of these faction leaders feel like leaders. And this started all the way back with Vol'jin being the war chief. Vol'jin was made war chief. He did absolutely fuck all as war chief. Then Sylvanas becomes war chief, and she actually does a bunch of things, but not as war chief. She very quickly sort of leaves the position of war chief to go do other things, but she's at least a main character, right? Now you have the council, and guess what? The council... Have any of you seen the council in-game? Like, do anything in-game?
No. But I mean, they did Vol'jin dirty in WoD. Like
Yeah.
he had story planned and they cut it because WoD was a nightmare of cuts. But the whole Ashran storyline that would have led into the Agramar storyline, etc., would have featured Vol'jin heavily. You see that in the current Ashran iteration because he's there and that was represented, but then was removed. Sylvanas starts Legion as being appointed the war chief, and I'm gonna fix everything. I'm gonna make the Horde great again, and then immediately fucks off to Stormheim. Does her own thing, just ignores the Horde, doesn't even tell you what she's doing. She's just like, nah, go fuck you guys. Like, this seems again like two people writing different parts of the story.
Yeah, I feel that. That I feel 100%. It does feel like the story is being written by actually not just two people, but like a bunch of fucking people. And
all
Blizzard
with different ideas about how it should work.
Yeah. Blizzard just sort of decided, well, you know, let's see. The factions right now, I think, is in a state far worse than it's ever been before. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I see a new video here from Hiramar. Top 10 amazing features in WoW that were abandoned. We'll be watching that tomorrow. That seems like a good fucking video to watch. It feels like the whole of World of Warcraft really have been abandoned. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. For fuck's sake, man. It is so sad. Yes. The game has so much potential. And there's so many things that could just be... It could be fixed so easily.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, it was brought up in the podcast, right? The Blizzard's defining characteristic at this point is optimistic, but shit. They could do so much, but they do it so badly. And it's gone back all the way through vanilla. It's gone back through Warcraft, like the RTS games. It's gone back all the way through the entirety of the Warcraft franchise, including Diablo, including StarCraft, including everything Blizzard have put their mind to. They had great ideas, and they shit the bed every single time when it comes to crunch time.
I'm sorry. I'm on YouTube, right? And I see the MDI Season 2 Last Stand tournament. Guess how many people are watching the MDI Season 2 on YouTube right now?
2.5 thousand.
5.9k.
Ooh.
If I go over to Twitch, is this also showing on Twitch? I don't think so. They have exclusive rights, don't they? I think they're exclusively with YouTube. I'm trying to see if there's like anything. World of Warcraft. Where is World of Warcraft right now? In terms of viewers. Jesus, where is World of Warcraft? Here we go. 31k. Jesus, it's fallen quite a bit. But let's see. World of Warcraft. Yeah, no MDI from what I can tell. Okay, so there's no MDI on Twitch. So you have YouTube with 5.9k. Can I tell you guys that 5.9k is... I mean, that's like an average stream on YouTube. I say average. If you talk about League of Legends, yeah? You talk about the esports, LEC, or LCS. You're talking about millions of people watching that, right? At any given point in time, they'll have, on YouTube specifically, they'll have anywhere from 50 to 100,000 people watching. That's concurrent, so that's people at the time watching. Over the course of a single stream, they'll have millions of people who have tuned in. On Twitch, they usually have hundreds, like 100,000 plus people watching those shows. Here you have the MDI, which clearly is Blizzard's pride and joy, right? Blizzard is doing everything in their power to design World of Warcraft around this MDI. And it has 5.9 thousand people watching. Don't get me wrong, I would love to have a stream with 5.9 thousand people, but then again, I don't have an entire team of people that I have to pay, right?
True.
When is Blizzard going to realize that this is not what they're this is not what makes World of Warcraft special. Like, genuine question. Do you guys feel like the MDI, or do you guys feel like Mythic Plus is what makes... Not saying that you don't like Mythic Plus, right? Not saying that you should or shouldn't like Mythic Plus. I'm asking the question, do you think Mythic Plus is World of Warcraft's pride and joy? Do you think that is what World of Warcraft is all about for the majority of players?
I think that's what devs think it is, but it's not.
There's some people that love it.
Yeah.
But it's not what it's like. It's like Arena, right? Arena is fun, but why did Arena never actually work as an esports? Because of the amount of people that actually play Arena. It's never gonna be the majority of players that play Arena. It's not like League of Legends. League of Legends is built around 5v5, Runeterra, on the Rift, let's go, right? That's what it was built to be. World of Warcraft has never been built to be this. And yet they keep spending resources on trying to make the game about that. Trying to make the game about raiding, make the game about Mythic Plus. That's not what the game is about. It's not what the game is about. Those are features within the game, and yes, they're fun for a lot of people, but World of Warcraft isn't about raiding, it's not about PvP, and it's not about dungeons. It's about a collection of all of those things, plus an open world. I don't think that cannot be made Ian's mistake. Considering who Ian was before he became the lead developer for World of Warcraft.
Right. Like, it's definitely traceable back to him. 100%. Like, the genesis of the entire idea is laid at his feet. And also the reason for the dumbing down of the classes, right? That happened with Legion moving forwards. And the pruning of everything was because they wanted to make Arena more like visible to people and understandable to watchers for the esports side of things. Same with the MDI that they were implementing at the time. They wanted to make it so that you only needed to know 4 to 5 abilities per class. And anyone can look at it and go, I know what that does.
Yes.
That's not how you do an esport. Like, it's just not.
No, the thing is, if you look at World of Warcraft and how far it's come in its time, we have consistently with every expansion seen open world be slashed and destroyed, and more focus being put into these 5-man, 10-man, 20-man content pieces that sadly isn't where most people spend their time. The vast majority of people spend their time in the open world, you know, collecting mounts and pets. And I think it's very telling when you find out that the people who are collecting are mainly collecting in old games, like in the old world. They're not really collecting much in the modern world. And more importantly, when you have RP players ignoring an entire expansion because they just don't like it.
Right.
That is telling of what the open world has become in World of Warcraft.
Like, I'm not an RP player. The most RP I ever do is playing D&D, right? Like, that's the most I will kind of go down that rabbit hole. But even I know that Shadowlands is ignored by RPers. It doesn't exist. It's a terrible expansion lore-wise and story-wise.
Yeah, for RP people, for those of you that don't know, I have a bunch of RP followers, and they've all told me finding a Shadowlands RP guild is almost impossible. Like, there's none of them. The vast majority of guilds in RP pretend as if Shadowlands don't exist. Like, they've just basically
I think
continued.
most players wish they could as well, to be fair. Like, just pretend Shadowlands doesn't exist whatsoever. BFA is actually better than Shadowlands. Let that sink in. The fucking train wreck of BFA is better than Shadowlands. Potential-wise, Shadowlands still has BFA beat, but actual content of what we got, I would rather play BFA than play Shadowlands.
True. I want to show you something else. Now, I can't... let me just quickly see here. Yeah, I can't actually see this person's tweets anymore. I think they've blocked me. I think
wonder
I've been
why.
blocked. Like, I can see it as this. So I'll show you guys. I can see this, right? But then as soon as I click on it, I can't see anything. So I might have been blocked. They may have set themselves to, you know, whatever. If I go here, yes, I'm blocked. All right, yeah. So I'm blocked by Nikki Gazelle Crenshaw, whoever the fuck.
Oh no, you were blocked by a furry. What a shame.
This is
However,
actually
will you survive?
This is actually a developer. You know, just to be clear, this is a Blizzard developer. And I don't think what I said here is even that fucking controversial. Just to be honest, I don't think I said anything that was too controversial here. They said that the user research team at Blizzard has a few fairly rare openings as we work to expand our team. What a time for headcount approval, am I right? If you're someone with a passion for understanding players, doing science, and collaborating with a diverse team, consider these postings. And then they go on to post about a bunch of diverse postings that they have. So I just asked the following, and I don't think this is a fucking, like, this is so controversial. Blizzard has an entire research team whose job it is to understand players. They must not be very good at this, considering the dumpster fire that is the last 4 years. If the devs actually played WoW, they wouldn't need this team. Is this insulting? Like, really?
No, but like that's your problem, Akko. You're expecting them to understand logic and reason. This is not something that is understandable by people with profile pictures looking like that and the personalities that go behind them. What you're actually doing there is you are confronting them with a conflicting opinion that they don't know how to handle, because conflict is bad.
True.
It doesn't mean that it gives anyone room to improve. It doesn't mean that they can grow and actually learn new things. This is against what I believe. Bad. They are the fucking Space Marines of the current world. Like,
true.
You are a heretic.
I mean, to be fair, for this, I was blocked. You know, for this, I was blocked. Instead of reaching out and saying, okay, what do you think we do every day? You know, what do you think it is that we do every day? And I would have responded with absolutely nothing. And they would have gone, no, this is what we do. This is how we do our job. This is what we're responsible for. And I would have been like, oh, okay, you convinced me, or bullshit, you know, whatever it is. I don't think I didn't swear at them. Of course, they would probably state that I was attacking them, and I was sort of, I don't know what they fucking stated.
Oh yeah, you spammed them with DMs that was just full of anti-female words and shit. Like,
yeah. Although anti-female shouldn't bother them. They're a deer, clearly.
oh yeah.
I'm not-
Otherkin, right? So because you're a meat eater, that's why you're blocked.
That could be it, right? That could be it. It's just interesting to me when World of Warcraft developers block content creators that they don't agree with. I find that interesting, considering the fact that you're supposed to be making a game for the people. You know, maybe it's not a good idea to block the people that isn't agreeing with you. Maybe I would be one of the.
Proves them right.
Maybe I would be one of the good people to talk to and go, okay, you think we don't do our jobs. What is it that you think we should be able to do? You know, what do you think we should be able to do here? And I want to make this clear. I'm not asking for anyone to attack this person. You should absolutely not be fucking attacking this person. They did nothing wrong. They have every right to fucking block me. I'm just saying, maybe as a developer of a game, you should not block people. I guarantee you, Asmongold's probably on this person's block list as well.
Preemptively, I'm sure.
Yeah. Almost every World of Warcraft developer, when they get their Twitter, HR have already pre-blocked Asmongold. And I'm probably going to get on that
Wouldn't
list
surprise me.
fairly soon. I just find it interesting because I wasn't in any way, shape, or form. I was being facetious, right? I'll admit to that 100%. I was trolling them, but I wasn't lying, nor was I being insulting. I don't think I was insulting anyone here. Because,
like I said, you insulted them with facts and logic.
pretty sure I'm blocked by this guy as well. This, by the way, is the developer that tweeted out as a developer on the WoW team, when I see people saying no one was asking for this, that feels odd to me. Because yes, someone did. We as devs asked for it. If you support the devs of games, please be aware that we also have opinions on inclusion in our games. I don't support you as devs of games. I support your games. Make no mistake, Mr. Valentine Powell. You, personally, do not matter to me one fucking bit. I couldn't care less. I literally could not care less about you. I care only about the game that you develop. That's it. That is as far as my transaction with you go. You do not pay me at all to care about you. In fact, I pay you for the ability to play your game. So that's where it stops for me. So I tweeted out, we have suffered what you, the devs, have wanted in this game for long enough. You've had 6 years and you fucked it up royally. So yes, we will ask again. Considering your job is to please your customers who asked for this. And I probably got blocked by him too. Yep.
Yep. This is what happens when you don't make the game for the people that are playing the fucking game.
No, I didn't.
Make
I
art,
didn't.
make
He didn't
art.
block me. He didn't block me. Wow. I actually have some respect for this guy. Never mind.
He just hasn't got around to it yet. He's still blocking other people. Don't worry.
Maybe.
It's coming.
I mean, he did have 78 quoted tweets, so he's probably still working through that one. But no, I have respect for this guy. You know, I don't care. They don't have to talk to me, right? But at least don't block me, you know? You know, you are, sadly, in the public space. Shit's gonna happen. People are gonna say shit to you. You're gonna have to learn how to roll with those punches, you know? Especially if you want to sit in the driving seat. If you want to have a voice, if you want to tweet shit out, you're gonna have to be ready to take the flack that comes with tweeting that shit out, you know? Several dev comments here if you want to check them out. Wait, which dev comments?
Perfect timing, because while you go through that Reddit thread that Ferrarotti has been posting a couple times to get you to notice, I'm going to go for a quick smoke and a quick pee. So, great time.
All right. Why is this fucking post closed to me? What is going on? Hold up. I'm guessing I should log in. Give me a second. Yeah, it had some weird shit. The Turkan for sure. Why? Oh my god. Can I get night mode, please? No. Oh my god, there it's doing it again. Bro, stop your shit. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. Give me a moment, people. Give me a moment. How do I... Oh my god. Okay, never mind. We'll just go to this post. I'll log into... For some reason I got locked out of my... I got locked out of my main account on Reddit and I logged into the wrong one, but it's all good. It's all fucking good. Okay, let's see here. Some Blizzard employee reactions on Twitter to the WoW team's message posted yesterday. All right, so Here we go. This is 2 days ago. Seen a lot of people that want to believe that the statement issued yesterday by the WoW team was just a PR move, or that there aren't really any people on the team that care about the changes. So I gathered up some of the responses from Twitter yesterday. Please read. Been seeing a lot of frankly upsetting comments from people who follow me, support devs, about some of the updates. Don't talk about support devs. Like, what? So I want to ask, who do these developers think they are? Genuine question. The vast majority, I have 44,000 followers on subscribers on YouTube. I will go so far as to say that 42,000 of those subs on YouTube could not give two fucks about me. They could not care less whether I lived or died. They are there because I provide a service. I entertain them with lore. That's it. That is why they're there. They could not give two fucks about me. Who do these WoW developers think they are? I do not care about you. You're not my friend. I don't know you. You don't pay me. I don't care about you. I care about genuine human decency. So when I hear that developers are being sexually harassed, for example, you bet your fucking ass I'm gonna stand up and say no, because that's the decent thing to do. Humans deserve to be treated with decency, right? So I will stand up for a fellow human being when it comes to decency, but I don't care about you as a developer one bit. You are making a game that I want to play. I care about the game. That's it. All right, so frankly, comments from people who follow me, /support devs, about some of the updates to in-game content being a smokescreen to distract from bigger issues, when really it's being led from within by people who care a lot. The problem is you care a lot about what you care about. You clearly don't give a fuck about what the player cares about. Otherwise, you would probably not have made these changes. So we have here, as a developer on the WoW team, when I see people say no one was asking for this, that feels odd to me. We just went through that one. I don't want to counterproductively quote them, but someone also pointed out today that our whole Twitter life lately has been wanting to avoid the attention of WoW Twitter, even more so than usual, which conflicts with wanting to talk about any of this. The reason, Mr. Hamlet, the reason you guys have to continuously avoid Twitter is because of you. It's 100% because of you. You say stupid shit, attack the player base, pretend to be fucking celebrities, and then you wonder why the rest of us don't give a fuck and why you're being taken apart. You're being taken apart because you're acting like children. If you stopped acting like children and you actually started listening to the player base, you would not be having these problems, Mr. Hamlet. You would not be having these problems. Yeah, I mean, I avoid even talking about it here, but it has been just uncomfortable lately, seeing it from people who I would generally expect to support pro-inclusivity changes. Why, Hamlet? Why? Because you live in a world where everyone needs to fit your little bubble? Because everyone needs to fit your little bubble. So, because I will tell some of you, some of the most ardent people against all this inclusivity movements, at least from my follower perspective, are some of them are gay, some of them are trans, some of them are black, and they're very much against all of this shit from Blizzard. So what Hamlet is saying here, I would actually regard as a little bit racist. Because what he's saying is, if you are a black person, you must be pro all of the changes we're making. It's like, no, they don't have to be. They're human. They can have their own opinions on things, right? So, yeah, Mr. Hamlet, well done there on basically generalizing entire groups of people based on the color of their skin, their sexuality, or their preference and partner. Very well done. Very, very fucking well done.
That is, in a nutshell, my issue with the entire thing. the people that are preaching about this inclusivity thing are so called against like fascism and dictatorship and all that horrible stuff, right?
Yeah.
But they're forming their own. If you don't believe what I believe, you are wrong, and therefore you are the villain. Is that not exactly what fascists did? If you don't believe what I believe, then you're wrong and you should be persecuted.
Yeah, it's a dangerous way to think about the world, but it seems like these WoW devs have absolutely taken that to heart. I have to imagine many WoW devs feel this way as well. Yeah, because you guys have no fucking idea what the player base actually cares about, or what normal human beings care about. You're so deep inside your own assholes that you don't seem to realize what the normal player base actually wants. The way I see it is that they are two completely different groups of people. They in charge of company-wide policy changes are not the they in charge of WoW content changes. I agree there needs to be company changes, but that doesn't mean there can't be game changes. No, but it does mean that if you are going to change your game, maybe include the player. You know? I don't know. Maybe just, you know, generally speaking, maybe you want to run, you know, say a poll, and you ask players, how do you feel about specific things in the game? And if the majority of players say we don't care, then maybe you also move the fuck along and you stop caring. But of course, that would be counterintuitive. Yeah. I can say with certainty that these changes did not come from requests from the C-suite. These changes came from demands from WoW devs. All right, so we can say with certainty that these changes have nothing to do with the lawsuit. Am I reading this correctly?
Apparently so.
All right, so basically one of the narratives that is now falling apart in front of your very eyes is the one that says this is because of the lawsuit. This guy, Kenan and stuff, can say for certain that these changes have nothing to do with the C-suit. So it's not a lawsuit thing. And these are all WoW developers, FYI. Imagine a world in which everyone agreed that the trash should be taken out, but they get upset when you clean up the trash's residue afterwards. If you're going to clean up shit, get the Lysol and disinfect. Otherwise, it still stinks. Really don't understand people sometimes. What are you talking about? We said take out the trash, yeah? That was building up in front of the building, making it impossible for us to leave the building without walking over trash. What you're now doing is coming into my house and just taking out my shit. You're walking into my house, taking the TV. I'm going, hey, you can't take my TV. And you're going, no, this is part of the trash that we're removing. No, it's my TV. Right. Why are you taking my fucking
the
TV?
The definition of trash that's the problem is that what they're calling trash, we called the game.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. Like, they should at least have a fucking joined opinion on what constitutes trash.
Yep. I mean, sadly, they would never think about this. This is, of course, a systems designer, so it does not strike me as unbelievable that they would think this way.
Oh, yeah, they don't know what trash is, obviously. The fucking systems designers.
Yeah. If it were intended as a smokescreen, it would have been promoted. You only know this exists because someone went data mining, getting upset with Team 2 because we have corporate overlords who won't listen to our very reasonable collective demands is a choice one could make. Okay. I don't know what the fuck this guy's saying, but I agree with you. Whatever you say, bro. Not a current employee, but a former one. I love this, honestly. I love all the changes. Many of them I remember writing down in a list of if I could just change things that bugged me and made feel excluded, creeped out, gross over the years, it would be these. But I super love when it's adjusted to make them equal. To just make it equal. Okay, currently senior level designer on Star Wars Hunters, previously with Blizzard.
That explains it.
Yeah, okay. Never mind. Never fucking mind. You see, the problem that I have, as I've explained to you guys during the Shill show as well, when you make changes to a game, such as World of Warcraft, small changes can have a very large effect on nostalgia, on the the things the players feel is theirs, you know? It belongs to us. It's ours. And if you step in and you sort of change those things, especially when you change those things at the time that you're doing it in, you know, at a time that players are very fixated on World of Warcraft and the sort of stories that surround this company, these changes could not have come at a worse time. This is the literal definition of walking into a hospital and making fun of cancer. You're just throwing oil on the fucking fire here, you know? You're making things worse.
You are absolutely right. And it's actually even worse than you're kind of portraying at the moment, because the speed at which these changes have been implemented shows that they could have implemented a lot of changes fairly quickly.
Yep.
But now that this one is coming from the devs, which I think is just a small minority of the devs that actually wanted these changes, but they're being implemented immediately. Players asking for something for 15 years. Oh, we can't do that. We don't have the time.
Yep. No, I think a lot of players are looking at this and thinking to themselves, with everything that's going on, this is the stuff that you're focusing on. Now, this is why I say timing is important, and why everyone should understand why I say timing is important. I am well aware that the art department for Blizzard Entertainment has fuck all to do with the guys designing the raids or the guys redesigning classes or anything like that, right? I'm well aware that they're not linked at all. So this is mostly art changes that we're seeing right now, and you know, some of the changes are made by other departments that isn't really that crucial in redesigning new content. But it's about optics.
Yeah.
You're choosing to waste time doing all of this crap rather than fixing the game that is currently in a fucking dumpster. Because the average player doesn't think that way. See, the average player sees a change that they didn't ask for when so many things that they have asked for still haven't been implemented, and they think, so this is what you're doing instead. Rather than doing the things that we asked for, you're doing this. All right, you know, fuck this. And then the developers pretend to not know what the fuck's going on. Like, the developers are sitting there going, why are people angry at us? I mean, come on, guys, we're just trying to make the game more inclusive. How about you include this in your fucking game, bro?
Can you imagine, though, if they hadn't devoted time to turning women into fruit, but devoted that time instead to high-defing the Garrosh cinematic?
Yep. But, I mean, that would be something that players would enjoy. You can't have that.
Exactly.
Blizzard doesn't make
that's
things
fun.
that players enjoy.
No fun allowed.
It's... fuck it. No point in talking about it. We're not... You've already seen how Blizzard deals with this, right?
Yes.
They just block anyone that says anything that they don't agree with. So, really very little point, you know, in even having these discussions anymore. So, what's the... I want to do a poll. I think we need to do a poll.
As long as no one's dancing on it, we won't get cancelled by Blizzard.
True. This is a simple poll. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. There you go. You should be able to find the poll at the top of chat. If you haven't seen it yet, just look at the top of your chat. You should be able to find the poll there. I'd love to know what the community is like at the moment. Who is still playing World of Warcraft and who isn't playing World of Warcraft anymore. Yes, official WoW. So who is still playing WoW officially? Because I mean, I'm already, myself and Alex, we're already working on some Final Fantasy videos. Although those are going to be more fun stuff. It's going to be my first impressions of Final Fantasy. Me finishing the story for Final Fantasy for the first time. The first time I went to the Golden Saucer, I was blown away, by the way. My first raid or trial, which, spoiler alert, still haven't been able to kill the fucking fluffy boss.
God King Moogle fucks you up. Bro.
Yeah, the Great King Moogle he's destroying me. He's killing my will to live. No, I still have to get that fucker down. So FYI, if you do play on Goblin, on the Crystals data center, if you do play on Goblin, you're welcome to join me. Just add me as a friend when I'm on, and I would love to make a group with all viewers. It is extreme. It's on extreme, Queen Azara. Yes, girl. The disappointment of Cape Westwind will be in there. And I'll be honest, I was not happy when I got this massive build up. Chat was going, oh bro, Cape Westwind, you get ready, it's coming. And I was like, all right, no problem. Now I signed up just with the normal group, right? So I don't know what to do. I was just sort of going, okay, they seem to be pulling, so we'll just go through this and hopefully they know what the fuck they're doing, because I don't have a clue. I mean, I barely got through like 3 rotations and he died. And I remember looking at chat and going, is this it? Like, is this phase 2? Like, what are we doing here? And chat was having the time of their fucking life. Just going, he thought this was going to be a hard fight. Lol. I was a little disappointed because it could have been a hard fight. It would have been fun if it was a bit harder. Not too hard. You don't want to get a new player completely fucking destroyed, you know? But yeah, Cape Westwind will be included in that. And then my entire journey through the ARR patch content will probably include it as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some Final Fantasy videos. But they won't be lore stuff. They'll be more fun stuff, you know?
See, what I want to see at that first impressions video is like a side-by-side comparison of your actual first impressions and then the second time you did it. Because the first time you did it, you hated the fucking game. Like, you were so done with that shit. And then the addiction kicked in, and then like you go back and you redo the same thing and you are just sucking its dick all fucking day.
Yeah, because the first time I was just rushing it, you know? I was playing it like I would any other MMO. Rush to max. That's what MMOs are about, you know? And believe me, and Alex will have that, we will include that in the video. I spent hours complaining about everything.
I know.
Oh my god, this is so fucking slow. I can't fucking believe the fucking combat sucks. When does the combat get better? Alex sits there. He needs to edit this shit. He's looking at it going, why are you asking me? I've never played this fucking game. Yeah, I was ready to give up, and then someone told me, no, actually, this game is very much about the story. You should be following the story from the fucking get-go. I was like, okay, fuck. So I'm going to have to start over here so I can actually know what this story is all about. Started over and fell in love. From the get-go, I was like, oh my God, they're right. This story is mind-boggling. And now I'm hooked. Now I'm completely and utterly fucking hooked to the game.
I'd have to scroll up quite a way to find Alex's rants to me in DMs about editing your first impressions when you first started doing it. And honestly, the comments he made are just pristine. I love Alex's sense of humor when it comes to things, and it shows in his editing style. So I hope he puts some of them in to that video as well. he was putting you on blast, dude.
True. By the way, Big Ronnie, that poll was never done to see how many people are still playing World of Warcraft. It was legitimately done to see how many of my community still play it. couldn't give two fucks how many people are still playing World of Warcraft. If I wanted to do how many people are still playing World of Warcraft, this post would go on to YouTube community. Because on the YouTube community, you actually get people who don't follow you, who also fill out the poll. So there you get a much bigger sense of who plays and who doesn't. I did it here because I just wanted to see who in the people that are watching me right now still plays World of Warcraft. And most people disagree with me all the time on Twitch.
Yes.
Very few people agree with everything I have to say. Which is one of the things that makes Twitch so much fun, is because we often sit here fucking disagreeing with everything. And Final Fantasy, you can do everything soloable. No, you can't. You can do the story soloable. It's literally designed to be soloed. Everything outside of the story is not soloable at all. Just how would you do the trials or the dungeons or the raids solo? I don't see how you could do it. So I don't agree with that big at all. Chose Minfilia. She is so boring. No, Minfilia is beautiful and definitely waifu material.
See, I see this all the time, people questioning your love for Minfilia, and a lot of people don't understand. You don't like her for her personality or what she does. It is purely a fruit bowl thing. Like, you like her melons. That's what it is.
No, I also like her personality.
What personality? She's a fucking
Bro.
damn fish.
No. Minfilia is cute and sweet and just perfect, like mother of your children kind of fucking character, that.
Only if you want her to forget you have children, sit there in the corner and not do anything.
I disagree. Big Ronnie, guilds are massive in Final Fantasy. There are so many things that you want a free company for in Final Fantasy, and free companies are very much encouraged in Final Fantasy, considering the free company housing. You can't get a free company. Like, getting houses in Final Fantasy is very fucking hard. So most people join a free company so that they get the housing through their free company. The game is Final Fantasy is the kind of game that gives you the opportunity to play solo, but you're far more rewarded when you have a free company to play with. I would say World of Warcraft is the one that is designed to be by design first, like solo. You can play with people if you want to, but you don't have to. Because think about what you get when you're in a guild, right? Think about the perks that you get when you're in a WoW guild. Easy queues, maybe. Okay?
You used to get good shit for being in a guild, and then they took a shit on that too.
I mean, there were good things with WoW guilds, like what you just mentioned. The experience that guilds had, the guild leveling system. It was sort of not great necessarily, to be honest, but it could have been great, right? Sadly, they made some of those experience things so powerful that it sort of killed the ability for new guilds to actually start up. It should have been far more just cosmetic driven, you know? And it should have had some kind of solo aspect to it, you know? So even though your guild is level 25, you still have to level up in the guild as well to get to level 25 so that you too can partake in those rewards. That would have been a really cool thing. Guild housing is another thing that helps. So you can't actually, let's make this clear. You can't force people into guilds. It's impossible. If you do, you end up alienating the solo player. And before we even start talking, solo player is fine. You should absolutely be able to play games solo. Absolutely should be able to play games solo. Solo, after all, is a hero archetype, right? There is the loner, and that's a hero archetype. And a loner can only exist in a community. Loners without communities aren't loners, they're just people, you know? So you need the ability to play solo. But what you want to do is you want to incentivize people to find guilds. Because through guilds or free companies or something like that effect, you get more than what you would get anywhere else. Something that Final Fantasy does that is incredible for this is things like Coils of Bahamut, the extreme versions of Coils, the extreme versions of their trial system. You see, extreme trials, this I've been told, when was this? Was this Friday? Friday night. Friday night I was told that to do extremes with random groups that you just grab off of the sort of group finder is almost impossible to do. Unless every single person in there have done it already, the extremes are far too difficult to do. You need what they refer to in Final Fantasy as a static, right? A static is what they call their guild groups, because you need the same people every single day or for a day going into the same place, learning it, being willing to learn and wipe a lot, and then finally get it down. So they've made things that you would want to do because they're fun to do. They've made it so hard that having a guild to do it in is just easier, right? It's just easier. So yeah, I would say Quinjaro, what I was referring to there is more, yeah, your extreme, no minimum item level, no echo. That was sort of what I was referring to. So when you're doing it at the hardest possible difficulty, and there's achievements to be get, or there's bragging rights to getting stuff like that done. You should incentivize people to play together. You can't force them. You'd create a whole slew of other social problems within forcing people to play together, but you should absolutely create incentives for people to want to play with groups, guilds, of that kind. And I think World of Warcraft has lost a lot of that. A lot of that incentive have gone by the wayside.
I think Warhammer Online actually had a very decent guild system. It wasn't something that was required to do anything because the kind of warband large groups was very easy to join, and it didn't matter if you were in the same guild or not. You could find one and you could join one. You could make one at any point and it would be fine.
Yeah.
But in a guild, you could contribute to the guild's level. You would get to put your banners over keeps. Cosmetic. Didn't do anything, but it was cool. It looked awesome. Mm-hmm. You would get to put your own standard out on the battlefield, which gave minor buffs. You got different skins of mounts. And I played as a solo player. I built my tank to be unkillable, and it would reflect most damage on a block. Mm-hmm. Killed most people as they were trying to kill me. Played most of it solo. I ran that guild for fucking 4 years and didn't force anyone to fucking do anything that they didn't want to do. Yeah. And it worked.
I think the other thing, and this might be actually one of Final Fantasy's greatest things, at least from what I can tell now. Now, I'm sure old school Final Fantasy players here, or people that's playing at max level, will look at me and go, what is he talking about? He hasn't seen half the shit yet. But the time investment for Final Fantasy seems far less daunting than for World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft, let's say we want to go do Mythic Sylvanas, yeah? But we decide we're going to do Mythic Sylvanas, say, in one go. So we want to do it in one day. Not only is it almost undoable to do, right? So it's basically undoable. You're probably not going to get it down in a single day. More importantly, even if, say, you were able to get it down, you are talking about a time investment of every day 3 to 4 hours, right? To get it down every week for, say, 3 or 4 months. Single raid, right? All of the bosses, all of the mobs, everything. But now you look at something like World of Warcraft, you look at something like Final Fantasy, their hard bosses, like the trials, the extreme trials, it's just a boss. There's no ads, there's no massive raid that you're going into for 3-4 hours to get some of the bosses down. It's one boss, no ads, kill the boss, right? It's hard, but it's doable. I'm not saying you're going to be able to do it in a single day. I've heard people say Coils of Bahamut is months. But again, it's not months in terms of you're literally spending months working through 8 or 9 bosses, sometimes having to kill the same bosses that you've killed last week. You have to kill them again this week, and now people start wiping on these bosses, so you've still not even gotten to Sylvanas, right? You've not even gotten to Sylvanas, which is what you wanted to kill in the first place. You're still working through all of these other bosses to get there. So from a time commitment standpoint, World of Warcraft is a massive time sink. You have to be willing, right? You have to go, okay, you know what? Fuck my evenings. I will go every day and I will just do it, you know? Fuck my life at that point.
Pretty much.
Whereas I think World of Warcraft would actually be better, in my opinion, if you fought individual bosses, or at least had the ability to sign up for individual bosses, right? So if me and my guild just want to kill Sylvanas, we can just go kill Sylvanas. We don't have to work through, 7, 8, 9 other bosses just to get to Sylvanas finally. I feel like, I don't know. Many people might disagree with me because there are people that absolutely love the raids in World of Warcraft. But for a great big many people, the time commitment, especially when you have a family, you have a job, the time commitment of having to kill 10 bosses is just too great. It's too much of a time commitment.
The worst part about it as well is that they're actually encouraging it with the loot tables, right? Like the last 2 bosses of the last 2 raids have given a higher item level piece of gear than any of the other bosses in the raid.
Yeah.
So what's the point of the other bosses in the raid? Just kill the last 2 bosses, you're fine.
Alex on Fire is asking, what's the point of that though? What's the point of raiding, Alex?
Yeah, what was the point of enjoying the portion of the game you actually want to play? Like, this is the whole thing, right? About the theme park idea. Go on the rides you want to go on. You don't have to go on every single fucking ride to have a good day.
I mean, when I raid, right? Back when I raided, I loved the challenge. That's why I raided, by the way. I love the challenge. I loved going against, but I hate the trash. I don't think there's anyone in this world that likes trash. Trash is a massive waste of time because the trash don't really offer any challenge. They're just there to slow you the fuck down. So basically, what I loved was the challenge. I would have loved the challenge whether I was going into a raid and killing every boss in that raid, or whether I was just signing up for a single boss and killing the single boss. The challenge would have remained exactly the same. And I would have enjoyed the challenge exactly the same. No questions asked, no bullshit, just, it's just easy because I don't have to give a fuck. I did do Trial of the Grand Crusader, but again, I don't like because the problem with Trial of the Grand Crusader is, and I actually liked Trial, just FYI. I actually love Trial. People felt like it didn't feel like a dungeon because there was no trash. I fucking loved it. Couldn't give 2 fucks.
It was great.
The bosses were fun, especially the PvP boss. Holy shit. That was one of the most fun fights Blizzard ever designed, in my opinion. But again, because it's difficult you can't look at World of Warcraft as it exists right now and say that they should make every boss its own boss, right? And there should be no other trash, no other bosses. You sign up for every individual boss. Because what would need to happen is Blizzard would have to design the game to do that. Okay, so say, for example, a new raid tier launches. The new raid tier launches with, say, 8 trials. Yeah? These trials are scattered all over Shadowlands. Yeah? Every single one of the bosses is in their own little element in the Shadowlands, or say in the Maw. Each boss is in their own little element. You sign up for each individual boss, and you try and kill that boss. And the bosses get incrementally harder as you go. Right? So when you get to Sylvanas, say you do Sylvanas at Mythic difficulty, she is fucking stupidly hard. So maybe you do want to do some of the previous bosses to get some of that gear before you take on the Sylvanas trial, right? Which is going to be the hardest trial you're going to do. So maybe you do want to like get some of that other gear from those other bosses. But at least then people aren't forced to do things that they don't want to do, and you're not forcing people to go into a massive time sink with a single instance that they have to clear week on week just to get stuff done. Alex on fire? No, why would I cry about that? Because
I think he's just looking to troll at this point. I mean, you can always tell whenever certain words are brought out, like actually criticizing a game for a thing to actually criticize it on is not crying. Like, nobody's dropping tears here, dude. Like,
what bothers me is that Alex is usually not a troll, and yet it seems I've touched the nerve.
yeah, you touched on his baby. And, like, the only thing I can assume from his comments is that if he could remove world bosses, he would remove them. Because that's essentially kind of a mini trial, right? It's a mini version of that trial. You've got a singular boss out in the world. It has its own loot table. You can choose to do it or not. It makes no difference in the grand scheme of things. Like, so if you don't like that idea, then just remove world bosses entirely, right?
And I don't think, just FYI, Alex, I don't think queues are bad, nor do I think instant ports are bad. I think the way World of Warcraft implemented them are bad. But they're not bad. They're not bad at all. The fact is they work in Final Fantasy. Why do I not bother having them in Final Fantasy? If that was my big issue, right, I would have hated them in Final Fantasy as well. I don't. In fact, they make it a lot easier in Final Fantasy, but they don't remove any of the sort of group element, the people talking to each other, people discussing things, people having to discuss things. None of that feels like it's being removed. So the way World of Warcraft implements their instant queues are very bad, because you end up playing a menu game where you're just clicking to go into a different setting, right? And all you're basically doing every day is looking at menus. But it's not impossible for Blizzard to fix. They can absolutely fix it, right? They would just need to apply themselves and actually put some effort into it. But no, I don't think insta queues are bad. Something raid-wise I like is the Final Fantasy LFR scale dungeons are designed for it 100%. So they're still fun and engaging, not number scale down raids. Agreed. Yuad? Look, at this point, I can't say anything bad about Final Fantasy because I'm still very early on, right? I've not even done Heaven's Sword yet. So maybe I get to Shadowsbringer and I find a whole list of things that I can complain about. And I will be honest enough to complain about them. Believe me, I'm not one of those people who suck dick on any developer. If the game is bad, I'm going to say, yeah, this is shit. I don't like this, you know? But as things stand right now, I sort of like it. Spartan, thank you very much for hanging out, dude. Really appreciate it. Take care of yourself. I like the way they do things in Final Fantasy because I feel like the way they implement things in Final Fantasy, there's a genuine thing, there's a genuine care not to destroy community, not to destroy the basic elements of the game. They don't just add things willy-nilly. They're very cognizant of if they were to introduce something, what could possibly go wrong? You know?
I mean, at this point, WoW needs to try something, right?
Yeah.
Like, at this point, it doesn't even matter what it is. They just need to try something different than what they've got, because what they've got clearly isn't working. And as much as I shit on Final Fantasy 14, and I do for good fucking reason, they do some things correct.
You and I have very different ideas about what for good reason.
Yeah, but that's because
okay,
you're
never
a
mind.
weeb.
Never mind. We'll just leave it at that. But you and I, for good reason, not the same.
They do some systems correctly, and Blizzard could learn a lot from the development of Final Fantasy 14. It's the package I don't like.
Big Ronnie, that's only true partially. So you have point, but only to an extent. The more people complain about WoW, the more viewers they get. To a point. I've explained this before, but I'll go through it again. Negative content work, but only for a bit. If you look at most of the negative content creators in YouTube, they tend to be negative on all topics, right? So they find their niche, it's negativity. And then all they do is focus on the niche that is negativity. The problem is negativity almost always has diminishing returns, right? Negativity works for a short period of time, and then you start running into diminishing returns, where slowly but surely those viewers start to taper off. Yeah. Look at most outrage YouTubers as well. They do well for a while, and then it sort of dies. Even if they're negative on a whole slew of things, their channels slowly start dying after a while. And specifically when you talk about World of Warcraft and you talk about people that's just negative for views, the problem is, let's say I turned my entire channel into one big negative Nelly show, right? I was just being negative, nothing else. I would gain some subscribers for a short while, you know, and I'd gain some views for a short while. But then those people that are watching, that's now currently very much entranced in the bullshit of Blizzard, they maybe stop playing World of Warcraft. So they very quickly stop moving on from World of Warcraft content. Maybe now, instead of watching every single day a video, now they're watching maybe once a week, and then eventually they stop watching even once a week because they're no longer playing WoW, so they no longer care about the negativity of WoW. So it's not a long-term strategy. You see, what I try to do when I'm being negative on World of Warcraft, and I always try and do that, and I think most people can vouch for me on this, I always try to be negative with ideas. So when I'm bashing a certain thing that World of Warcraft is doing, I'm also trying to come up with ideas of how they can fix it. Not always the best ideas, I'll be fucking the first to admit. I might have ideas that's absolutely bonkers and no one wants to apply them. But at least it gets people talking, you know? Because
there is a big difference between just whining about something and then complaining, but offering a way to fix it. Like, instead of just saying, I don't like this, it's, I don't like this, but I would like this.
Yeah.
There's a very big difference.
Absolutely. And one of the reasons I'm talking about Final Fantasy so much is, yes, I love Final Fantasy. I am having the time of my life playing it. But also, I think World of Warcraft can learn a hell of a lot from Final Fantasy. Now, I'm not saying that they need to implement everything on a 1-to-1 ratio, because that wouldn't be good. They need to take the magic, and Blizzard is fucking brilliant at this. Don't forget, do not forget, Rift. Rift came out, and it had this groundbreaking new type of battleground. Yeah? Everyone loved the battleground. In the battleground, you have this little torchy light thingy that you pick up. It's right above your head. And then you have to keep that thing for as long as possible while the enemy team tries to kill you to take the little light thingy above their head. You would increasingly take more damage from the thingy, so the healers would eventually run This is how it worked, right? Can you think of a dungeon in World of Warcraft that offers similar mechanics?
Ooh, quite a few.
Yeah, but World of Warcraft does it perfectly. They did it better than Rift. You see, they took the basic idea that Rift had and they made it better. Rather than just taking increasingly more and more damage because you're holding the thing, they increase the amount of damage that you take the longer you keep it. So if you played perfectly and you stayed out of harm's way, you could technically hold this thing forever, right? And you would deal more damage as well. So there was a pro and a con to the system. They also, in Rift, we very quickly found a sort of, let's say, cheat in how we did it, where you would pick it up and then you would run up this hill, right? And you would go stand right on top of the hill. Everyone else that wanted to get to the hill, that wanted to get to you, had to run on this narrow path. So all you would do is just throw a bunch of AoE on the path. So by the time they get through the AoE, they're dead. So whoever got up the path first with the orb won. Basically, you could do nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the same strats in Warhammer Online with the murder ball battlegrounds that they had there as well.
Yeah.
You would run the murder ball back to your spawn. The guards would kill anyone coming to you. You die. You drop the murder ball. You respawn. You come out your spawn, pick it up.
Yeah.
Easy.
But see, that's the thing. World of Warcraft said, what's the secret behind this dungeon? And then how can we make it so that we do not run into the same problems? Well, we'll put everyone in the center. That's where you get your points. There's no hiding. There's no cheesing this. You're in the fucking open, in the center, right? So it fixed a lot of the issues, but it took the magic that was that dungeon. Blizzard is brilliant at taking the magic of something and turning it into something better. So what Blizzard needs to do now is go to Final Fantasy, look at what it is that Final Fantasy does, discover or identify the magic within those systems and within those features, and then apply that to their game. Right? Apply that to the game. Traxton, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Grace Fang, thanks for the prime sub, dude. Really appreciate that. 4 months in a row. Keep being awesome, man, and kick Blizz in the nads. Grace Fang, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. I like that more MMOs are here, but I don't like the mentality people have going into the new ones. Some doing out of spite to WoW or as a response to WoW or claim the WoW killer like New World, which is so boring, just crafting. I like that there is more MMOs. It makes competition, but brings out new things from the other companies to try. Some might be good, some might not be good, but it's something new. I agree with you. I think more games is almost always more better. Right? More games is almost always more better. And I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, variety is the spice of life. You need that choice. You need that variety. You need the competition to push people to do better.
The reason I'm worried is I have it on very good authority that Blizzard doesn't really look at Final Fantasy as a competitor. Blizzard developers seem to run around believing that they are the only real company. Like, they don't have any other companies to look to for ideas. And that bothers me. That bothers me a lot, you know? I just can't play Final Fantasy XIV because of Lalafals and Mughals. It's just too retarded. Nulsarak, so I will say this. I hated the Lalafals at the start. Absolutely despise those little fuckers. Until you realize that they are the darkest race in the entirety of Eorzea. Those little fuckers are dark beyond belief. They're not cute. They're not they're not amazing. They are literal scumbags is what they are.
They all suffer from Napoleon syndrome. They're angry because they're short.
Yeah, it might be that, but their story is yeah, it's fucking weird. But anyways, I don't want to convince anyone to play Final Fantasy. That's not why I'm doing this. I talk about Final Fantasy because I absolutely love the game, and I love talking about things that I love. But I don't think people should feel stressed or forced into playing a game just because everyone else is fucking talking about it, you know? I think play whatever you like playing, but keep an open mind and also be able to admit when your game isn't great. That's the one thing that I wish more people would do right now with World of Warcraft, especially those people who suffer, in my opinion, from positivity bias. There's
definitely.
There's too many people right now that is basically, how do I put this? There are too many people in World of Warcraft currently that is basically forming a line in front of World of Warcraft. And whenever someone says anything negative about the game, they go into complete and utter attack mode. They will not admit that there is something wrong with the game. They will not admit that their game has any faults or mistakes, even if they themselves know that they're not having as much fun as they thought that they should have. They refuse to say anything negative because this is their company and they have to be protective of this company, right? This is theirs. No one should say anything bad or negative about their game. And I feel
the
like
same thing happens with Final Fantasy.
True. People in Final Fantasy get incredibly defensive over their game. And I just always feel that doesn't help much, you know? You're not helping when you wish to defend your game above and beyond all else. You're actually making it worse. We should absolutely... When did we get to a place where we're happy to defend companies, corporations? I'll tell you what. It's astounding to me that you have people who are socialists and communists that's defending Blizzard life and death. And it's like, aren't they literally the thing that you don't want existing in the world?
Right.
Like, I mean, this is literally the thing that your entire belief system is opposed to. I don't get it. As a capitalist, you would think I should be defending this company because they're, you know, what I apparently want. Of course, I'm not defending them because they are a blight to what I believe capitalism should be, you know? And I'm not saying all socialists and communists are defending them. Not at all. Just to be clear. I'm saying that the people that I have found that is defending this company are almost all massive socialists and communists. I know this because I see their tweets. I see what they say. I see how they speak. Some of them I watch their YouTube videos. And yet they are the ones coming to the defense of Blizzard Entertainment, Activision Blizzard, a multi-billion-dollar company. And you just sort of ask yourself, do you realize that you're the reason this market looks the way that it fucking looks? You should be standing up against this company and forcing it to fucking fix its ways. And yet what you're doing is you're saying, no, more of this, please. More of this. This is the literal equivalent of going to an oil company and saying, could you just take that nozzle and just pump it right up my ass? Like, you know.
Oh God, we're back on the ass again.
It's like, what are you doing? This is you. You should call this out. This is not the right behavior, right? And you should call it out. And I think people are causing more harm than good, and they don't even realize it. Because these are the people that's emboldening fucking Blizzard developers who feel emboldened to make changes that no one fucking asked for, and then to attack the player base who rightly gets upset over the changes that no one asked for. The reason they feel like they can is because of these shilling fuckheads who will suck dick, not even for... I wish I could say that they're willing to suck dick for $1. But these people are sucking dick and paying $15 a month to fucking do it. These are the people that go to the red light district and then pay so that they can suck off the hooker. It's like, well, that's not how it works. You're the one that should be getting the treats here. You know? You're not supposed to be the one who does it.
Schmooples said something a little while back that I did kind of want to address. Like, he's saying he's still enjoying the game, and so why would he be negative about it? Mm-hmm. And, like, without trying to start an argument or make you get defensive, Schmooples, I do just want to ask, what about current retail WoW, not classic or any private service, but retail WoW, are you actually enjoying? And the answer cannot be playing with my friends, because you would enjoy that in any game whatsoever. What is it about current retail WoW that is actually keeping those people playing still hooked and engaged?
I have no doubt that there are people who really still love WoW. I have no doubt. I think a lot of people that doesn't really bother with endgame or really care about current casual content probably don't give a fuck, you know? Because they're off doing their own thing, you know? They're off playing their own game. And I don't mind that. But I think at the same time, we have to be willing to be honest and say no. Just no. There are some things that you're not doing right. There are some mistakes that you're making. And we're not willing to put up with that. So maybe I'm still willing to play the game, but I am going to call out the things that you do wrong. Because I think it's important if you wish to fix. If you wish the game to be as good as it can be, you must be willing to call them out on their bullshit at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for replying, Shmooples. Like rating in Mythic Plus. Unfortunately, that doesn't really answer the question. Because that's still playing with friends, right? You're doing that with the same group. You're doing that with your friends. Unless you're saying that you're going to be pugging all this stuff, which I would struggle to believe without seeing it. But that doesn't count. Because I would enjoy doing most things with my friends.
Well, actually, I do want to say, though, I had a friend back in World of Warcraft when I still fucking played in Legion, who spent about 12 hours to 14 hours a day pugging. Like, they loved it. They fucking loved getting pug groups together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I enjoy pugging.
You do get people that prefer the pug. They don't actually care about playing with friends. They just love the raids and they pug the raids all the time. Like I said, even then, right, your job as a consumer, right, is to say, because here's the thing, this is a nice phone. This is a nice phone, right? As a phone, it does what it needs to do. But what's the company behind this phone like? Now, I could say, well, I still like my phone, you know, and the phone doesn't give me any issues, so I'm not really going to complain about this company. Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about how the company treats their employees. We're talking about the sweatshops that is employed in creating this. Should we just ignore that because the phone is good? You know, it's not as if when I started using this phone, I was automatically transported to my nearest sweatshop. You know, so I don't have to deal with this crap. No, I can absolutely say this is a good phone. But how this phone is being made is absolutely disgusting. I can look at WoW and I can say, I genuinely believe, by the way, that raiding is probably the best thing that Blizzard does. I think Blizzard does raiding better than any other game on the market. Final Fantasy is fucking amazing, and their bosses are absolutely amazingly fun. But from a pure gameplay perspective, World of Warcraft by far, the best game on the market. World of Warcraft's gameplay is better than most single-player games. From how smooth it feels, when you hit something, you feel like you're fucking hitting something. It's amazing, right? World of Warcraft is a fucking amazing game when it comes to its combat design, its gameplay, and its raiding. But I can definitely call out other things, right? I can look at other things and say, but you failure. So all over, you get a fucking F. Because congratulations, you've managed to do 15% of the player base a solid. You've fucked up everyone else. No one else has anything to do in this game, right? So
even then, in the good things that Blizzard does and good things that WoW does, there are still issues, right? Like, we were just addressing the raiding issue with the last two bosses being the only ones actually worthwhile doing because they're the ones that give an arbitrarily increased item level. So there's no point doing the rest of the raid once you've got it down for the first kill because it's only the last two bosses that are actually giving you anything useful.
I agree with you. I want to agree with you. Sorry, I'm reading what Sayan is saying there. Of course, you do fight the fights that you can fight, right? None of us can fight China. As much as we would like to, none of us can fight China. So going into a fight with China is fucking useless, right? But you fight the fights that you can fight. You pick the fights that you can fight. So if you truly believe that Nestle is a bunch of shit, you stop supporting it. You don't buy their products. That's the best you can do. You can't wage war against Nestle, but you can stop supporting them, you know? With Blizzard, you can absolutely say, well, I will raid and I will do dungeons, but I won't log on any other time of the day. So I will hurt their engagement numbers, if it were, right? That's a small thing. That's a small bit of protest, but at least it's something, right? So you make a proper decision. You say, right, I will log in 3 days a week to do my raids, and then I'm off. I will not fucking log in anymore. That's my protest. I get my 3 nights a week raiding. I'm having fun with my friends, but my protest is I will not log any other time. So I am hurting a little bit of engagement. At least this is what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has to do what feels best for them. I am not one of those from the beginning. Whenever this news about the lawsuits broke, I was one of the only content creators. Well, not one of the only. There was a couple of others that didn't put any enforcement on any players. At no point did I say that you have to quit the game or that you must keep playing the game or anything. I said none of the sort. I said from day one, this is your battle. You choose how you wish to fight it. It's not my job. I'm not here to tell you how you need to fight your fucking job or your fucking battles. You decide how much this battle is worth to you, and if you decide this is not a battle, this is not a hill I'm willing to die on, then it's not a... Who cares? You know? No one gives a shit. It's not my job. It changes nothing to me. I just don't pay my $15 a month, and I'm happy. And until Blizzard decides to change the game to where I would be happy, I'm happy not to give them my $15 a month and play other games, you know? But this is everyone's individual fight. I am not here to tell anyone how to fight their fights. Not my job.
Oh, fucking yeah. Valheim, absolutely great time waster. I love that game. It's well worth the money. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Echo. Like, nobody should be telling others what to do or what game to play or how they need to take a stand, if they wanted to take a stand at all. Yeah. But at least do the same to others as well. If I'm not telling you what to do, don't tell me what to do either. It's fairly simple.
Yeah, and it's, I think, worthwhile to remember that for some people, they work all fucking day. They get home, they have 3 hours a night. They play WoW, they've played WoW forever. They just want to log in and play a little bit of WoW. You know, they fucking really can't be arsed with all this bullshit. I want to go so far as to say that the vast majority of World of Warcraft players doesn't even know about the bullshit.
Right.
They've probably never even heard of the lawsuit and everything else because they don't follow that shit. I quickly want to... Nalsarak asked, what playstyle of WoW you enjoyed the most X-Pac-wise? Mine was Wrath of the Lich King. Playstyle-wise? Kata. I think Kata. Because Kata was
What
still...
Legion for me.
What was good, but what already changed the way that classes worked. So one of the things that I'm so in love with Final Fantasy is it takes me back to the days of my, you know, old school WoW career, where, you know, class design was very much around rotations, and rotations was very strict, right? You had to stick to your rotation, and your rotation, fucking up your rotation was a big deal. You would lose a lot of DPS if you fucked up your rotation. In WoD, you already had this sort of hit whatever lights up, you know? It was already the priority system, you know?
I mean, I liked Hunters in WoD very much because you actually still had your utility before it got pruned.
Yeah.
And the Gara questline and the Fellwolf questline actually had that be a big part of it, which you couldn't then do when pre-patch for Legion went live, because they removed the abilities you required to do these quest lines. But I don't know. I liked that you could do anything. It didn't matter what you did. Everything counted towards the end goal.
Something that's very interesting, right? Almost all players, if you ask them, when's the last time that classes felt great in World of Warcraft? Most players would tell you Mr. Pandaria.
Yeah.
The vast majority of players would tell you that the heyday of their class was Mr. Pandaria. You want to know what's very interesting about that answer? It was also the time where, according to Blizzard, classes were the most homogeneous. Blizzard hated that because all classes could basically do everything, right? All classes had an escape and movement abilities and interrupts and stuns, and so there was no class identity because all classes were basically the same in terms of utility, right? In WoD, you still had that, and then at the end of WoD came the great pruning, as it will be known from this moment forward, or it has been known from that moment forward. And funnily enough, it's been a downward spiral from there. And how do I know it's been a downward spiral from there? Because people have complained about their classes in BFA. They complain about their classes in Shadowlands. They didn't, however, complain about their classes in Legion, but that's because of the artifact weapon. See, as soon as the artifact weapon got removed, the classes, the weaknesses and the gaping holes within the classes were 100% revealed, right, to the player base. So what exactly is the takeaway from this? People loved it when their class worked. When they could do everything in their class, not necessarily always as good as everyone else. Yeah? Because as a warlock, yes, you had a shit ton of fears, and yes, you had a stun, and yes, you had movement, but you didn't have as much movement as a mage, for example. Your stun was a little bit awkward to cast, but when it came to fears, you were fucking king. You could keep shit feared for a long ass fucking time. You felt strong when that was on the cards for you. Turns out it's not bad when people can do everything just slightly different. Because at the end of the day, the vast majority of people don't care whether or not he can do the same thing as the guy next to him. He just wants to know that he can do it, that he can be helpful. Maybe my stun is on a 45-second cooldown, your stun is on a 20-second cooldown, but at least I can also fucking stun, So if I have to stun, I can stun. Because nothing feels more miserable. Sorry, you can say now, but nothing feels more miserable than knowing that there's a mechanic that needs stunning and no one has a stun. So your group is basically completely wrong. You have to sit out now because you can't stun.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I was going to say. It's almost like people actually like being able to play their class instead of being forced into a particular class because of some arbitrarily designed mechanic in a boss. Like, oh yeah, I'm a core part of the raiding team, but go fuck yourself because you don't have this one ability. Wow, thanks, Blizzard.
I think tripping balls is a good thing there. Make classes same, but fun, and bring back elemental resistances to create the paper, scissors, rock counterplay. I would say that the problem that I have mostly with World of Warcraft is that it feels like Blizzard is starting. So the perfect example of this was actually a conversation that I was having with a friend of mine who I started playing WoW with, and they've left since. How many of you remember PUBG? PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I remember.
Now, I no-lifed PUBG. I was in love with that game. Oh my god, we played so many fucking hours on PUBG. And then we sort of just tape it off. We just stopped playing it. And I remember around the time that we started to find it less and less enjoyable was whenever they started to focus so much on realism. Like every single patch, they would change the bullet drop to be more realistic. So instead of being able to shoot someone from 300 meters away, you would now almost not be able to, because you'd have to aim almost fucking 90 degrees up in the air just to get the bullet to not drop before it reaches the player. And they started fucking around with damage taken from different limbs and shit like that. The game became so scientifically correct in what it was doing that it no longer felt like a game. It lost that feel of just being, you know, in that world and just sort of fucking shooting people for the fun of it. Became too serious. And it feels like World of Warcraft is the same. They've become so serious in how they wish to approach everything. So scientific that they've forgotten that it's just supposed to be a fun game, you know? I'm supposed to have fun.
It's escapism. Don't give me real life.
Yeah. You know, I don't care that I'm a warlock and technically I should not be able to out-heal healers. It's fun. You know? I'm an Affliction Warlock. I should be able to heal more than anyone else. Because I'm an Affliction Warlock. It's what we do. We drain souls and life and shit. I should have that fun. And you should design a game that puts me under pressure. You know? You should design a game that puts me under pressure. That means that I still don't want to take all of that damage because it might end up wiping me. You shouldn't take the game so seriously. Because at the end of the day, you know, we are just here to play a video game. It feels like Blizzard they forgot that. They want the game, and all of this comes down to the MDI. It comes down to their esports. You see, to keep esports interesting, they need to have different classes that's strong with different things, different classes that can do different things, because that's the only way that you'll get some kind of variety in the MDI and different tactics within the MDI. Most players don't give a fuck about the MDI. I just want to go into a dungeon and do some damage.
Right.
You know? I just want to go do some damage. You know, I don't give a fuck. I remember when you had the ability... Do any of you remember Mass Drain Life? I can't remember what it was called now. But it was an Affliction Warlock thing where you could basically drain life from all targets in front of you. If you had a bunch of mobs stacked up, you would just drain life from all of them. So you could basically survive any damage at that point, and it was a great AoE ability. Yeah. It was so much fucking fun because you dot everything up, and then you would just drain vitality. It may have been called drain vitality, and you would just hit that and just see shit tons of ticks going off on you. Why remove that? There's no need to remove that. It's just fun, you know. It's just fun. People should be able to have fun in their game.
It was fun. Like that's why it was removed, because it was fun.
Yeah, you see, I think it was removed because they couldn't balance it, and it's like, well, sometimes you don't have to balance everything, you know. Sometimes you could just, you know, not give a fuck and just have people have fun. That's it. It's as simple as that. So yeah, I don't know. It feels like oftentimes Blizzard takes themselves too seriously. Way too seriously. The Night Fae ability is just the Warlock one, I would say on crack, but it's not really on crack. Because the Warlock one was actually on crack. The Night Fae one is just a watered down version of what the Warlock could do. I believe it was back in World of Drano actually that we could do that. I'm just seeing what chat says here. BFA distro was fun. Oh my god. Do you guys remember back when distro didn't have a cooldown on Havoc? That was the most fun you could ever fucking have. Like, you could have Bane. I think it was Bane of Havoc. You could have Bane on another target and it would just copy all of your spells to the second target constantly, and you could have it refreshed literally the whole time. So you would have it up 100% of the time. And it made you feel like a god on a Klee fight. Like any fight with 2 targets, you were just like, I got this, boys. I fucking got this. Don't worry about it. I have it. And I said at the time, I was already making videos about Warlocks, and I said, Blizzard needs to nerf this. It's way too powerful. Blizzard needs to nerf this, and the way I would nerf it is just by reducing the amount of damage to the second target. So the second target takes like 50% or 60% of the damage. Instead, Blizzard goes and they slap a cooldown on it, and they only make it last for 10 seconds. And it's like, well, it's okay now, but it's not that fun. You know, it's not as much fun as it used to be in the past. It's just okay now, right? Soul Swap is another one that was so fucking awesome, especially if you knew how to use Soul Swap. You could get some real big damage going as an Affliction Warlock. So yeah, I mean, we can talk about this forever, but we're not going to, because I'm hungry.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely getting to that point of the evening.
I'm hungry. I want to go eat something. I have brisket that's already been made in the fridge. Just have to warm it up.
Ham and pineapple pizza ready to cook. Gonna throw some onion on it, a little bit of smoked cheese on top for the extra cheese. Oh.
No, I've got brisket, bro, and it's gonna be it's gonna be amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, my last 100 for you. Anticipated. What do you mean? Oh, are you talking to someone else? Oh, never mind. Thank you very much for the 100 bits, dude. Really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope that you enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen, especially the new format with the Shill show and then the Aftermath. I guess that's what we'll call it now, just the Aftermath.
I don't know. I think After Shill is probably even better for me anyway.
Twitch doesn't let me do Shill. As soon as I put Shill in, it refuses. It fucking refuses. As soon as I put Shill in the title, it will not save. Because I wanted to call
title right now.
No, try and do it.
This is the Aftermath Shill Show, baby. That is your title.
Yeah, and if I do it if I do the Shill Show, it doesn't want to take it. For some fucking reason, it keeps rejecting it. See if you can change it. Because I can't. It won't do it.
It's just changed it.
No, you said After Shill. I said the Shill show. Anyways, keep it. It doesn't matter because I'm going to upload it to YouTube anyways, and it's going to take the old one. The YouTube part is going to be up. I don't know if I'm going to make it public. I don't think I'm going to make it public. Maybe I will. Depends. The videos will go up, so don't worry about it. The videos will go up. They are forbidden words. On my edit stream, I wanted to do the Shill show, after show, right? That's what I wanted to call it. That was the original thing. As soon as I click done, it goes, this is against Twitch's policies. And I'm like, how is this against Twitch's policies? But apparently it is, according to Twitch at least. But I think the Aftermath is a good enough name for it. And who gives a fuck about the name? All I care about is that you guys had fun, hopefully. Hopefully most of you will come join us over on Twitch during the week. I will probably be streaming tomorrow, although there is a chance that I might not be able to, considering the estate agent phoned me. They have like a couple of people that want to come watch, like take a look at the house tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see what times they want to get here. If I'm not online tomorrow, I'm definitely back on Tuesday. So you're welcome to come join me on Tuesday. You should be able to find the timeline. So when I'm live in the schedule below this video, there should be a schedule so that you can see in your time what time I'm going live. And yeah, I want to thank all of you for coming out, for hanging out, for just making my Sunday night better. Apocalypse, thank you so much for joining us in the after
Always.
show. It has been incredible. But right now, it's going to be even better. Food, bro.
Kirby time, dude.
Food, and I'm watching Castle again. Just rewatching Castle. So, yeah. Good times indeed, ladies and gentlemen. As always, be kind to each other. Be good to each other. And I will see all of you in the next one. Peace out, fam.